me and you one day we're going to meet outside football. I'm like, I've got him here, I've got him. So the sports lawyer said, record it in your pocket so you've got it in case he ever makes up a lie. So I had them on record to say, mate, we're going to make this up. So yeah, I had them anyway, so I knew. So I'm even more selling it now. Like, why do you have to be like this? You're intimidating me now. I feel scared. Yeah, I'm doing all this. He said, no, we're going to meet outside football one day. Next minute I just went, anytime you want then. That was anytime you want. She said, right, get out my office, yeah. So I'm not going to stand up now. So I said, all right, no worries, mate. I said, it's unfortunate we can't sort this out. So I thinking, I don't know if you've never been to Yeovil, but the manager's office is in the tunnel. So anyway, I think he's just going to, he stands up, comes behind me, and I think he's just going to slam the door, follows me into the tunnel, he's pushing his shoulder, and he said, come on. So I'm like, mate, think I'm going to hit you? Yes, you think I'm going to hit you so you can go on the floor and you sack me? I said, come on, mate, I'm better than that. But I would have, if I wouldn't have seeked advice from a sports lawyer. He's saying, you don't do anything. So he's pushing his shoulders and come on. I'm saying, mate, you're not going to do nothing, are you? You're not going to do nothing.
Just before this episode starts, if you enjoy the Legged podcast, we produce 4 exclusive bonus episodes per month for our private members club on patreon.com. For the price of £1 a week, that's just £4 a month, the price of a beer or a fancy coffee. We produce these bonus episodes that have special guests on, various topics, and there's also merchandise offers and various bonuses you can have, competitions, all kinds. Get over there, support us, support the podcast by giving just £1 a week. Link is below.
This episode of the podcast is kindly sponsored by Feel Supreme. Feel Supreme have been sponsoring the podcast for a number of weeks now. They're an incredible company. They've got the most diverse range of supplements. I've got some here, the CBD, which I've been taking, which is brilliant. The mushroom extract as well, which I've been taking once a day. They've got vitamin D3, vitamin C, a huge range of different health supplements, and you can get 10% off if you go to the code below, go to the link below, which is feelsupreme.co.uk/legit, and you get 10% off by clicking through and going through their website through that link below. Please support them. They've been a huge support of the podcast. They've got the most incredible products that I take daily, myself and Andy take daily as well. So anything you can do to support them ultimately supports us. Everything CBD, vitamin D3, vitamin C, which is obviously vitamin D3 massive at the moment, and vitamin C obviously really important for immune support. So go to the link below, click through, and you'll get 10% off your order. Well, it's a Legged podcast with myself, Tom Wickstead.
It's me, Andy Grant, and this week we got Adam Morgan.
Hello.
Thank you very much, mate.
Thank you.
Appreciate your time.
Mate, here. Excited, lad, to finally get to chat to you. It's it's a real pleasure, mate.
Long time coming, and thanks for having me. I always watch, and
Good.
I'm excited.
Boss, mate, I remember when I first met you, and I think it come up on my Facebook memories when I first come into the academy. It come up the other day, and I remember, mate, when I got the nod that I was coming in to do a talk, just being a massive red and seeing all you lads, I was probably the most nervous I've ever been. Just to kind of even go into the academy and all that, and then to be working, like, if you like, with you guys, and obviously I kept in touch for quite a few years and stuff. That was mad for me. Do you remember anything about that type thing, do you?
Yeah, absolutely. See, that's what, straight away off the bat there, them afternoons after training, you used to think, fucking hell, we've got to stay behind here, something's going on, or sometimes we have to do a referee course in the afternoon, and you're thinking, or we used to have a cooking lesson or something. But hand on my heart, and straight away, is the first time I'd sat up and you made a right impact on all of us in that dressing room. I remember us speaking about it for the next week or so, do you know what I mean?
Oh,
and like normally, you're thinking, even if it's a meeting after training about the game tomorrow, you're thinking, let me just get up. But everyone, the way you started the meeting with is, everyone knew it was kind of an inspirational talk, but kind of, then to hear it come out of your mouth and you still was there, living and breathing it still, like, because obviously it was still relatively fresh back then.
Yeah, it was.
It was kind of, that was the start of it. And
when would this have been then? What year?
2013, I think it might have been.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. I would have said maybe even a year. Yeah, 2012, 13.
Right.
When I was still like under 18, so I'm almost 27 next month. So it must be a long time ago now. But
yeah, it's mad,
that was honestly like the thing that, you know, when you're listening from the very first second to the last minute, just why it was such an inspirational story, and that's how we've kept in contact all these years. I know that you've done stuff in my mum's school, my mum's school teacher. me uncle,
your uncle as well,
Uncle Liam, he messaged me the other day to say, so, you know, the effect that you have on people, and
no, I appreciate that, mate.
is amazing. And that day, I can remember it. Do you know what I mean? You're showing all the slideshow, and I remember you said kind of, who is this person? He's like, this person is me now, and you know, coming back from adversity, and I've had to do a lot of that in my life, and you know, inspirational people like you, even if you wouldn't at the time, even if you wouldn't have felt as much inspiration to us, like you were saying, you was nervous coming into us, but I know every single person in that took note of that meeting, and that was, you know, I know people will have looked back at that and thought, look, if he can come back from that, fuck me, alright, I've got a knee injury, I've got an ankle injury. There's a lot more worse things that have happened in the world.
No, that means a lot, that, mate, because there was one thing I always think of these footballers thinking, like what you first said.
I can understand.
Yeah.
And with a lot of the things, I've got to be honest, you know, you've had obviously footballers on here, you think in the afternoon, not that we have an hard life or anything, we're working 9 to 5, but you think after training, you think, I don't really want to stay around here till 3 o'clock. Back in the day, it used to be, I want to get into town, go to Bucky's, or go and look at somebody. But honestly, hand on my heart, it was like, that day, you go out a little bit cold, you think, wow. Let me reevaluate now a bit. But
means a lot,
it was a brilliant day, that I remember it.
So, going into the academy when I did, I mean, that was home for you since what, how old?
5.
5 years old, really?
Me and Tom were baffled when we had Ian Barrigan on.
Ian Barrigan, yeah.
And he was saying about getting scouted that young, and we couldn't believe it, could we? But he was saying, like, you can tell with, like, kids' gaits and the running.
Yeah, how they run, everything. Incredible. 5 years old as well. But he also mentioned, obviously, it's not... Obviously, a 5-year-old is not competitive, is it? It's just they're just there to have a good time, aren't they? Do you know what I mean? And then from that,
now. It's mad now. It's come on a lot more from us, but that was home to me. I didn't know any difference, which kind of hindered me later on in my career, because all my day was, you go to school, go straight to the academy, eat your lunch in the car, go to the academy till from 5:30 till 7 o'clock, say, go home, go to school, do it every single day from when I was 5. So that took a lot of toll on my mum and dad. Like, you know, my mum's a school teacher. At the time, my dad was on the taxis, but he only went on the taxis. My dad had a normal job, like 9 to 5 job, but he went on the taxis because he said, I'm not missing no football, so he could choose when he worked then. And obviously my mum Saturday and Sunday was off, so
yeah,
the dedication that they give to me from such a young age. So I left Liverpool when I was 19. Obviously we've got stories in between that, but so 14 years, that was my home, you know. And so during that 5, I didn't know any difference, you know.
Were you even at 5? I mean, it's probably an hard question to answer, but were you good at 5? I mean, was it can you remember what you were like at, like? So
you have odd memories from when I was young, but the first memory I have is, like, I was too young. They didn't have 5-year-old under 6s football like they did now, like at Kingsthorne. So my sister used to play centre half. My sister Ashley and my cousin David, they used to play in the same team. It used to be boys and girls mixed. Sister was decent, and cousin was good as well. And I think one week, loads of people didn't turn up, and they said, look, you're going to have to go on and that. So I was told anyway by my dad, and then, you know, I was just done well, and then carried on playing. So I was playing like 4 years above my age, and then obviously I was enjoying it. But remember, the kits used to be massive back in the day anyway, massive. So a short sleeve shirt used to be a long sleeve shirt on me. I'm not tall now or anything. And then we played in a summer tournament in Speak. Anyway, again, so from what I was told, my dad said that Liverpool scout John Stevens said, is that your boy? Like, say the number 10, is he your boy? And my dad was like, yeah. He's like, has he got a skin condition or something? Because my socks were right up there, my shorts were down by my ankles, and like, he was like, no, he's 5 years old. So it kind of went from there, and the vision I remember is, my dad had a sunroof in his car, and I remember him, as we drive into my road, the cul-de-sac, my dad's sitting me on top, my dad's beeping the horn, he's been picked up by Liverpool, my mum's running out screaming. She's loud like me as it is, so I think the whole road knew that at 5 years old I'd be going for a little like training camp at Liverpool, and it's cliche to say, but it kind of just went from there. I didn't ever feel under threat that I might not be at Liverpool next season, or, you know, back in the day, it was kind of, you'd get a letter at the end of the season, we want to retain you. It was never a worry to me that I wouldn't be there next season. I would always score goals. I would always, like you're saying, if I didn't know I was a good player, that 6, 7, yeah, I knew I was always the best in my school, you know. You
backed yourself, yeah.
Yeah, I kind of, you'll know a lot more. what you see is what you get with me. I can't hold something in. If I feel it, I'll just say it. Or so I was kind of always a bit of the class clown, bit of, you know, felt I was the life and soul of the party, and I was always loud, and you know, I looked up to my heroes played for Liverpool, so there was no danger of me going to Liverpool, going to Everton, Blackburn, Manchester United, anything like that.
Was there offers from these clubs as you were getting older?
Yeah, so jumping ahead, when I was 16 I got offered to sign for Blackburn. You know, when I was young I got offered to go to Man United, but it was just no. I love Liverpool, you know, even to this day. I follow them home and away as much as I could with my dad. But growing up at Liverpool, it was kind of such a privilege to be there.
Yeah, that's what I'm like, so young, because again, I remember growing up, and again, maybe going to this, whether it was a hindrance or not, but your name, it was like Adam Morgan, he's fucking the next Robbie Fowler, no one's seen a natural finisher like him since Fowler, and you kind of just knew there's this lad, Adam Morgan. That's why one of the reasons I was so excited coming through, and it's like, fucking hell, this Adam Morgan, he's going to be like, it's getting built up and you're in this bubble. I mean, what was that like? I mean, did you hear these things going on around you and all that?
Yeah, absolutely. It was. I was there. I come at the perfect time for the start of LFC TV. So Jake Hargreaves, who used to run LFC TV, like I was saying, is by that stage I was probably about 14. I'd been there near enough 9 years already.
Mad.
Yeah. So basically, I'd be speaking to Jay on the gate, and I'd be saying to him this and this, having a laugh and a joke with everyone. Martin in the canteen, Angie in the canteen, like these have watched me grow up, you know, like Ian Barragan,
proper family,
Phil
like.
Roscoe, Clive. They've seen me go from a baby up to a cheeky 14-year-old kid. So I was saying to Jake Hargreaves, you're going to see LFC TV, it's going to be about me and all that. But that's how it was, and like that was just the person I was. And when I chat to him sometimes now, he always says to me, I remember when you said to me, so I come at the boom of LFC TV, I come on Sky, and it used to be free. So obviously Liverpool, what a massive fan base, so you could watch it all over the world. They're watching the under 18s, 16s, 18s maybe, and then you do like a little get to know. And then I was a scouser, left-footed, could finish.
I guess it's on the age of social media as well, isn't it, where Twitter's going big and everything as well, so it's...
That was the boom. I made a few mistakes on Twitter, I'll tell you about that, but you don't know, you just can't. I was just going with the flow. I was scoring goals every year, and then kind of probably the way I was scoring them, left-footed, the similarities of Robbie Fowler come in. And the biggest thing was when that happened, it must have been 15, 16, and he come in, and I think he was doing his coaching badges, so he'd take us once a week, and I remember he stopped the session once and made everyone give me a clap because of how I finished this ball. And he was just like, he said to me, mate, it's like watching myself there, and I was just buzzing. I loved Robbie. And then he'd come out in an interview and said, I've never seen a more natural finisher than him in years. So I knew it was about, and then I knew the rumours were about, and it was lovely. I thought I was the main man, you know. And
hey, my head would still be the size of that now.
It's nice. And
what was that when he makes everyone clap you? That must have been mad.
Mate, that was mad. But like, what happened was we was doing like a midfielder to strike his run. I still remember it now. And it's like, balls come over the top. I've just hit it first time. But he was saying, watch his body shape. So, boom. And he said, do it again. And just done it again, exactly the same. And then he's just like, give him a clap. Like, that's how you finish a ball. Not this top corner. I was always taught low and hard. Keeper can't get it. So he took a kind of big liking to me, and because I put a picture on Twitter, like, there's a goal where he scores and he's just doing that, and I got a picture next to it like that, and he retweeted it. I remember, like, but that was when I was young. You used to write to me like, what are you doing over Twitter and all that, didn't you? So I remember he retweeted it, and then obviously he took a liking to me. He must have seen obviously a bit of a scally, you know, always well mannered and tried to be well mannered, but kind of I haven't come from money. I've come from a working class family, a little bit like him. So the rumours were always about that, you know.
Comparisons are easy to make.
Comparisons are easy to make. The next Robbie Fowler's about. So, but I believed it. I believed that I would go on and play in the first team, and that's what I pictured my career when I'm sitting in my mum and dad's room watching the season review 02-03 and watching Robbie Fowler. I just think that's going to be me soon. That's going to be me. That's all I used to think. I used to throw the tennis ball against the wall, do overhead kicks on the bed, shouting Fowler, you know what I mean? And it was Did anyone ever try and kind of dampen that confidence when you were coming through 15, 16, or were they kind of trying to build it up even more and saying, yeah, you can do this? Or was anyone trying to think he needs putting in his place a bit? Yeah, I think at times, like, Phil Roscoe, but what a man he is now. I still speak to him. I spoke to him 2 days ago, and I used to, like, not want to listen in college, not want to listen in school, not because to be rude up. I just loved football. I thought I don't want to do this. Me being completely honest, I thought I'm not going to need this. Like, I'm always going to play football. I'm always going to play. I just loved the game that much. And however much I'd laugh and joke, as soon as I go on a pitch, it's a war. I go to work then.
Yeah.
At any age, my mentality was like, score as many goals as you can, score as many goals as you can. So, you know, I stepped out the line a few times with some of the stuff that I'd done, but I was quickly put back in check. But everyone was always there to support me, and they wanted to build me up as this as well, of course, because it gets the hype around the young scouser getting pushed into the first team. So probably since Jay Spearing and that, and then Flano before me, I was the next one in line really to go and make my name. And that was a midfielder and a defender. I was like, you know, I was seen as I'm going to be the next person to go and light the cop up and have them all singing my name. That's how my mentality was, and nothing was going to tell me otherwise, and everything was going
that direction.
So it was an amazing time. And then I'd go and, you know, it was just crazy.
What age did it start? Did it start to maybe hit your parents or even you when? Because obviously at 5 years old, nothing's gonna, you know. But like, is it towards like the 14, 15 where you go, fucking hell, something's ticking away here? Yeah.
So it was when England, when it comes around playing for England. So the Victory Shield is live on Sky, and I was going scoring every game, and Victory Shield comes around, so you wear it. Like you're saying, you can't help but hear these things get said. You get picked for England, then you get picked. So I'm expecting that, thinking, oh, yeah, I'll get nothing on Sky. Oh, it's going to be great. And I missed out, didn't play, didn't get picked. So I'm thinking, what's going on here? And so then the Victory Shield happened, and at the end of that season, because I was a younger one, I was a 1994 birthday, there was a trip, like with the 90... I missed out on a trip because of my age. So I ended up playing with my own age, and I ended up scoring 4 against Derby. Won 4-0, scored 4, and Kenny Swainey, under 16 manager, was watching. So I knew he was watching this game. So I scored 4, won 4-0, and then the next England squad I was in, it was in Finland, but it was called the Nordic tournament. It was kind of to give all the other lads a go who hadn't really been picked, but he was on the fringes of the England team. Went there, just ripped it up. I scored 2 on my debut, 2 in the next game, and then scored the winner in the final against Sweden. So that's when I was then in the England squad permanently. But from the end of the under-16s to probably the under-18s, I was always sub. So Hallam Hope, the Everton striker, would always be the striker. I'd be thinking, fucking hell. Like, I'm thinking, he's not better than me. But he was a lot bigger than me. So I'd get thrown on if we were 1-0 down, 30 minutes to go. He might get us a goal, So that's how it was, probably for the first 2 years. And then, like, the Euros were coming around in the under-17s. And I'll be completely honest, I'm thinking, I'm sick of going to England. I don't ever play, or I'll play 30 minutes if we're down. So when we're playing Spain in the last game, I'm thinking, we needed to draw to qualify. I'm thinking, I'm not bothered if we lose. Like, I'm only going to waste my summer sitting. I don't even remember, I think the Euros might have been in France. Thinking I'm going to waste my summer there. We've been doing unbelievable for Liverpool all season. I've scored more goals than him, but for England, he seems to always be ahead of me. Anyway, we end up qualifying, going to Euros, played about 40 minutes of game time. So I'm thinking, something needs to change here. So I thought, right, every time I go to England now, I'm going to treat it like it's me versus you. So we get to the 17s, and that's exactly what happened. I kind of went to England and thought, right, I want to see who's a better player, so I'd stay out longer. So that was in my mentality, that you're not better than me, so I'm going to show John Peacock, the under-17s manager in England, who should play. And then kind of filtered where I even jumped ahead of, after the under-17 World Cup in Mexico, I played a lot more minutes, so I'd start games, and Hallam would still start games, but he was still probably the main striker. After that is when I then fluttered around with the first team, and then I just bypassed that, went straight to the under-19s as a starter. So I was starting with Harry Kane up front every time. Like, and Saido Berahino was on the bench. You know, like Rob Hall on the bench. So I was the number 9, Harry Kane was the number 10. So that's how hard I worked. But like we all know here, England come second behind Liverpool to me. Like, I went to Mexico for 5.5 weeks in a World Cup. should be the most proudest moment ever, but I wanted to play for Liverpool on the Saturday against Middlesbrough at home, honestly, because that's how much I love the club. But it was a great opportunity to represent my country. And probably around my age, I probably got the most caps, because I'd go to the qualifiers and, like I'm saying, play, so get me caps up. But then where he wanted to have a look at everyone, I'd go and be the main striker in them one. So I'd go to every single tournament, rather than Hallam Hope wouldn't go to that tournament because they give him a rest for the Euros or for the World Cup qualifying. So it was, I'd go and be the main man on that one, but then I'd go and be on the bench in this one. So I've got about 40 England caps.
It's hard.
Okay.
Just hearing you say all that, and I asked you there about your confidence and stuff, it'd be hard not to get thingy about it, you know what I mean? If you go into England and then you're banging them in every season in Liverpool or every age, it'd be hard to kind of try and, you know, put the brakes on and say, hang on, I need to be...
Of course, I was a boy. Like, we was only talking in the car. Me and my mate there's like, you think at 16, 17, 18, you're a man and like you've got everything sussed out. That's what I thought I had. And I think everyone, you know, think, yeah, I can handle that. But like, I didn't know any difference. I weren't taught any difference. I was just taught to be a winner, and I loved playing footy. So whether I played for England, Ireland, Scotland or Wales, if I went there, I want to play. I don't want to go and sit on the bench. So that was my mentality, is if you think he's better than me now, I'm going to show you that he's not.
You know, that all round that group, whether it's in Liverpool or England, who was one of the best players you come up against? You're saying you're full of confidence, but who was a player you come up against and you thought, fucking hell, he could play him?
Yeah, so my toughest opponent, and then he's going to think him, because he was at Blackburn, I'll give him a few roastings as well. Right? He was at Blackburn at the same time. I'll actually get the video up.
Wait, we can get it up?
No, I'll he's deleted it off there, he knows.
Is it not on YouTube? Or not on YouTube, no.
But the toughest player I used to come up against, I hate it. I used to sleep before Liverpool Everton games at under 16, 18. But the best defender I used to rate playing against was Eric Dyer.
Yeah.
He was at Everton at the time, centre half. He was built a brick shit house, and he was absolutely unbelievable. But like, I used to think, mate, he's not even that good. But now you realise he really was that good.
Yeah.
He used to just give me, I couldn't
yeah.
score to save my life against him. So he was at the 16s, 18s level, he was the toughest player to come up against. But then we played against some top players, but directly up against me. Eric Dyer was a centre half then.
Yeah.
Even not like he's playing now, but yeah, Eric Dyer. But obviously I played against the Pogbas, Ravel Morrisons, Sam Johnston, the goalie at Man United, Michael Keane, all these kind of people who've went on and had unbelievable careers. It's that, but he used to always stand out for me. He used to know I was in a game when I played against Eric Dyer.
Got some video. When you were talking about LFC TV, is this the sort of stuff you had to do here?
Yeah, Cop Kids.
That's
with Wardy now. Obviously he's at Leicester, isn't he? that was a good day, that.
Torquay Uppy Challenge.
Yeah. And I guess, mate, like you kind of touched on it before, but you are the go-to, aren't you, for anything LFC TV? It's like, Morgo, he's the Scouser, he's the next Robbie Fowler, he's the next, let's get him on.
Yeah, I think, like, because that's what I'm saying, is I've got no filter, so, like, I just say it as it is. If I swear, I can't help it. It's just me, you know what I mean?
It's good to be like that, mate.
So they knew, like you're saying, young Scouser, but he'd always give you a little bit extra. I buy into these things, so, like, I don't think, I have to do. I love it. I love being involved in these kind of stuff, and like, I love the media side of things, and that's what I was looking to go into. Was kind of, I wanted to maybe like go and shadow Carragher at Sky Sports. I was going to reach out and ask, or at BT Sport and stuff like that. So that was the career path that I was really looking to go down, because I really enjoy this, and I've had such a kind of education on it. Then I feel like I'd be really good at it.
Mate, start a podcast.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
There's plenty of people who are flying with them, and the YouTube channel, you know, anything like that, yeah.
No, you can tell all like your charisma and all that, like, and that's what I'm saying. They probably bait your hand off when you were, and they know you were keen for it.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. He's one of my good mates here, that's Jake Hall, so I've been doing my coaching now. So he, obviously I've been doing a few sessions with him, he sponsors all my stuff. So to be in kind of, he's been so good with me, like to help me get me coaching up and running in Essex, in an I'm unheard of down there, but kind of, it's been so good for me. It's grew so quickly. I know I have kind of a bit of a reputation in Liverpool, some good, some bad, but it's helped me a lot more starting coaching away from an area that I'm familiar with, because it was kind of a fresh start for me. And obviously my bird, she's from down there, so I've lived down there just over a year now, so it's been really good.
We had Laura Woods on just talking about the podcast thing, mate. We had Laura Woods on the podcast a few weeks ago, didn't we? And she went, before obviously she joined Sky and all that sort of stuff, she was doing journalism at a uni in London or whatever, and she put together, like, she started, I think, on YouTube channels, didn't she, to get up to where she was.
When she was on Soccer AM and stuff, she was doing little bits, and it's like what you say, you've got to have a go, haven't you? Start somewhere, have a go, and you don't really know where it's going to lead to, do you?
No, and see with me, it's like, I was so nervous doing my first coaching session, even though I know what I'm doing and stuff like that. It was just because I'd always played footy. I'd never tested myself like that, but it's been the best thing I've ever done. And I'm still playing as well, but kind of, I enjoy that so much when I see someone's progress and stuff like that. But it's kind of, I try and be the person that I would have needed when I was young. That's why I try and be with these kids. I laugh and I joke with them. You know, I ask every single little boy who comes in, how's your boyfriend? You know, like, they all laugh. But that just breaks the ice straight away. And like, I'll say, okay, I say chicken, and because they're all cockneys, you know what I mean? So that just breaks the ice straight away. But I've learned that through people I've worked with. Oh, how did he make me feel comfortable, or fit? What teams you support? No Tottenham fans allowed here, or no Arsenal. I asked the mum who they support before, so straight away. And then if they say they support Tottenham, I say, right, have a look at this picture here. Who do you see on here? They go, there's Harry Kane. I say, all right, okay. Oh, this Conor Cody. And then they never recognise me. And I say, who's this number 9? And then they say to them, oh, he's playing with Kane. So it kind of helps me straight away. So they think, right, better listen to him. So it's kind of a little.
You've got to use it to your advantage, yeah.
Absolutely. You know, I should probably publicise more, like, that I do these kind of things. I think with London, what they do is, if I'm standing there in a West Ham coat, they just think you're a scout and stuff like that. But what they don't realise, which I should publicise more probably, is if I seen a player who's extraordinary, I'd speak to Alex Inglethorpe or Phil and say, look, maybe can you get him down at Liverpool for a week? If not, can I have the number for Tottenham, West Ham? And they would do it, and then I'd be treated with kind of respect, probably because on their behalf. So that's what I'm kind of debating on whether to do, kind of maybe look to get working with a Tottenham, West Ham, Crystal Palace, someone London based, and work from there. But I want to kind of learn my mistakes and me pros and cons first before I kind of, instead of rushing into something, I want to be completely and ready and making.
I was thinking that, mate, in a weird way, the way you started so early with the football, you're starting your coaching journey early as well. So the years you're going to have, because you look at coaching and managers and stuff like that, if you're going to go down that route, you know, you're having a big head start on a lot of players, aren't you? That's
it. What I was thinking, and you know, I feel like I'm a people person. If you ask me to describe myself, I feel I'm a real people person. And I look. My inspiration now is Anthony Barry. He's Chelsea first team assistant coach, but I played with him at Accrington. And it's like what you're saying is, if you put positive things out, like he was on a coaching course with Jody Morris, obviously then got introduced to Frank Lampard, done really well at Wigan, so they took him to Chelsea, and that's how it works. So I want to get a head start in this. So if I didn't make it as the Premier League as a player, I want to make it to the Premier League as a coach or a manager.
Yeah, no, it's great attitude.
Mate, jumping back to Liverpool then, so like when did, so you were there 2 years, like you left, did you leave at 18, 19? 19. So what was the like run up to that, and did you see it coming, or was it
when did, you spoke about so positive, when did things not start, you know, whether it fuck ups or what, I don't know what.
You're smiling.
So look, I'll tell you about it. So it's funny enough, where I live now was one of the biggest mistakes I ever made in my life. So I was on loan at Rotherham, but I was still flying at this stage. They wanted me to go and get kicked around in League 2 for a little bit, toughen up. So I went on loan to Rotherham. And,
how old are you now?
What would have been? 17, reckon, lad? 17, 18. He was there.
Why are you smiling so much?
So I'd been on loan to Rotherham. Last game we played at Rotherham's ground at home. So one of the lads' birthdays, we all went down to night out in Essex after that. I thought, we're going to Club 195 in Essex, which is now 10 minutes from my house where I live. So I've said to Alex Inglethorpe, he said, look, you're going to be involved with the Reserves on Monday against Tottenham. I said, look, I've got a wedding in London Saturday night. Can I meet you at the hotel? And he's like, not really. I'm saying, mate, please. Like, so he's like, right, okay, I'm going to trust you. Don't be going out, don't be going boozing. I said, I'm not. I did.
Club 05.
So anyway,
what was the name of the club?
Club 195.
Club 195 was in the back of your mind and went straight
so
there.
I'm on the way there, and all them are already up there. So goes out, Club 195, comes out of there about 3 o'clock in the morning, pissed. So anyway, gets up the next day, no problem. So text Alex, what time do you want me at the hotel on a Sunday? He just rang me, said, was you out last night? I said, no. He said, was you out? I said, no, went out. He said, what time did you get in? I said, about 1 o'clock from the wedding. I said, I went drinking. He said, well, that's funny. He said, I went to school with the bouncer on Club 195. He said, you fell out of there at 3 o'clock in the morning, all shouting and screaming. Just report home, you're suspended. I'll contact you when to come in. So this is the first time I'd ever been in trouble. I'd done petty things along the way, like, told, well, I got really in trouble at 14. I'll go back to that as well in a minute. But this one was right serious. So I'd lied, but I'd lied through fear, because I was thinking, there's no way he can know. But he's from that area, so I don't know to this day, did he actually know the bouncer, or was he just trying to catch
calling
me
your
out?
bluff.
Yeah, but I was young and naive. Everyone's putting pictures up on Twitter, like you're saying, is you didn't realise how, so all you had to do was probably type in my name.
Yeah.
And I was tagged in a picture in there or something like
Grey
that.
goose, flying the sparklers.
No, I don't know about that. But yeah, we was in this, so suspended me for a week, and that week, mate, was horrible. My mum went mad, and my dad went mad. What the fuck are you doing? And I'm like, I know, what have I done? Anyway, so he called me in for a meeting and that, and said, look, that better not happen again and stuff like that. So about 3 weeks later after that, I was going to Hilton Hotel for this fashion show. I actually weren't drinking this night, I'll tell you now. I weren't drinking that night, so I drove in, parked in L1, going in. Funny enough, seen Brendan Rodgers, absolutely bladdered. He was bladdered coming out of there, and I was going in. So he came up to me and he had his arm around me. He said, look, we all make mistakes. Don't worry about it, you'll be back up with us soon. Because I'd been up with the first team, but then I'd play games for the reserves. He said, you'll be back up with us soon, this is a lesson. So, funny enough, 3 weeks later, I took my punishment. Tried to be as well behaved as I can, work as hard as I could. And funny enough, then 3 weeks later, I was back up with the first team. But I text Alex saying, look where I'm going past, and sent to me. And then I always wanted to know, I said, did that ever hinder me? How bad did that hinder my progress? And he said, mate, not one bit. He said, we had to say you did, you know what I mean? You made a mistake, big fucking deal. But he spoke to me like a man now, because I'm a man now, but at the time he has to make out, like, it's the wrong thing to do. Absolutely, I shouldn't have done it. But I needed to know, how much did that impact me? He said, mate, not a lot.
He needed to put that fear into you though, didn't he?
We knew you made a mistake. We wanted to see how you were going to react. You reacted in the right way. And that's why I was back up with the first team where I belonged. But they had to strike the fear of God into me that you don't do this 48 hours before a match, or underage. I think I was 17 or maybe just 18. So it was kind of a real wake-up call for me. So that was the first worst thing done. But when I was young as well.
When you were 14?
14. So I sagged off school once. And again, because I loved Liverpool that much, I didn't see myself as a Liverpool player. I was a Liverpool fan who just played at the academy. So we sagged off school, loads of us went down to Melwood. So we're all standing on the bins outside, but bearing in mind, like, I'd go down there at Christmas, like, and stuff like that, we'd meet all the players. So we're just waiting for autographs, like I'm anyone. But actually, that's when I was really doing really well. So Lewis Garcia drove out the thing. He would never know this. I didn't really know Lewis Garcia, but I shouted something to him. I just called him a Spanish something. I honestly don't know, Spanish bastard or something like that, because he didn't stop. Bearing in mind, Billy Stewart, the goalkeeping coach at the academy, but he was up at Melwood, they see me do it. Again, I got suspended for that. One, for sagging school, and two, being rude to first team players. So suspended again, and then this when I was young, and that was horrible. But they needed me to play in the Youth Cup. So I was only 14 coming on to 15, but they needed me to play in the Youth Cup. And so I was like, oh my God. So he's like, they brought me back from suspension a little bit early. I said, look, we need you to be on a bench tomorrow in the Youth Cup, like under 18. So I was 15, free, but I knew I wouldn't play, but I knew it was at Anfield. So I thought, oh my God, first time I'm ever properly with the big nets down and everything, cop end. So I didn't end up coming on, but just to be involved in that. So I thought, right, now I've got a chance. Like, I know now how, even at that age I thought, for this to happen, me to make that big of a mistake, but then to still put me as a reward, showed how much I had about me and how much they thought of me. But obviously there's ups and downs to anything, isn't there?
You know, how did you deal with, there's probably loads of stories, but how did you deal with that kind of fame and stuff? And Liverpool, I think, is a blessing and a curse, and when you start to get a bit of notoriety and a bit of money and stuff at a young age, what were the kind of pitfalls and maybe like the hangers on, and I don't know, and how do you deal with that? Because like you say, no one teaches you in the football how to do it, but certainly no one knows how to be a teenager and a scouser.
No, it's mad. And like you're saying, it's stupid. Look, I'm not a bad looking kid, but you get a lot of birds. Like ones. No, honestly, what I'm saying is, you think you drive your nice car, like you're 17, you've got an Audi A3, because it's not my fault. Like, that's what we was instructed to get as that safe, reliable. But we had an Audi. Not many people would have it, so you'd be able to get a couple of girls in your car. You think you're the main man, but then other people see this and they think this flash prick. But you're not being a flash prick. You're just being 17. You know, how many people have been on a lap of town in no matter what of the car, thinking, looking at birds out the car and thinking, hey, mate, we're all right. But just because I was a little bit known at this time, you know, you might have cracked on with a bird all night, and I might drive past and be like, and she might show out a little bit because her brothers seen me play football, or their dad said, oh, there's dad talking about me, they say, oh, that's Adam Owen. So then this lad now then thinks I'm the biggest idiot in the whole world. But I'm not, I'm just being a kid. But it's just how we're allowed to be a kid and make mistakes and be stupid. But then you have people around you telling you that you're the dog's bollocks. And then obviously, I've probably got about 5 mates now. But he's one of them. A few others, Mono's son, they've been there. It wouldn't matter to them whether I played 100 games for Liverpool or 3 games for Liverpool like I did. So friends come and go, and you as you get older, you start to see. But it's very difficult for people in this city who do okay from football to just be seen as the person they are, a young kid. They're going to make mistakes, okay. They might have a nice car, they might have said hello to your bird because the bird's said hello to them, or it is what it is. And I think people get painted as big time or as a bad kid because they're doing what every other normal person's doing, but they might get a little bit more attention from birds or from kids who might want a picture with them or want to speak to them over football. And then there's a lot of jealousy in this city for anyone who does quite well. There's a lot of support, like especially with the boxing. You know, Tony Bellew's an Everton fan, but I want him to win every single fight, and I'll always, if he was fighting late, I'd watch him. But I think more with the football, it's kind of seen as, oh, he's a big time Charlie.
Who do you think he is type
thing?
Who
do you think he is? Like, but you're not. You go into a nightclub. It's not your fault if the bouncer says, "Mate, do you want to come in first?" Like,
mate, I've seen it. We spoke about before. I've got blown up and been lucky enough to do certain things, and people have gone, "Who the fuck do you think he is?" And I'm like, "What do you want me to do?" If someone says, like, you know, what? Oh no. We used to go in Garlands on a Thursday, and like we'd stand in the back of the line, everyone else. But then John, the bouncer, would say, "Come on, boys, what are we going to stand there and just say no, mate?" They look like being rude to him. So then if we say no to him, he thinks, "Oh, is he too good for me to let him in?" But then everyone else in the line, he think, yeah. So like you can't win. You can't like what? So in the end, it was just kind of, it would bother you though. It would bother you, and you'd get a lot of people giving you shit sometimes, and it'd always be over the internet or something like that, or you know, you'd get all people staring at you like they want to fight you. Like mates have been in a couple of fights when nothing's happened, but people are starting on me for nothing. Like, you said hello to my bird 6 weeks ago, or you drove past me in a car staring at me. I never. Like, I was just being a young, normal kid. It's just jealousy in it, and like you say,
who's got the time to even
you know, it's
bother.
The thing is, like, I don't ever think that people would be jealous of me, but looking back now as a man, that's the only thing I could think of. Like, it's not anyone who plays for Liverpool's fault or anyone who plays for Everton's fault. They're going to attract attention when they go out in the city, but what do you want them to hibernate in their house and not go out? Of course, like, there's times and places, and I went out a little bit too much, absolutely. First person to tell you that, but you've still got to live your life and stuff like that, so it's...
But if you're going out a lot, like you just said, I went out a bit too much. Like, you're 18 or 9, like, fucking hell. You know, we've all, if you've got a bit of money or, you know, all right, it's frowned upon through football, but fucking hell, we all do it, don't we? It's just the spotlight's even more on you.
And I think as well, we've had a few guests on, and we've told where people have spoke about Liverpool. everyone's dead proud to be from here, but it's a bit like a fishbowl, innit? And
Absolutely.
it's like it can be overwhelming at times, can't it? Overpowering.
Mate, that's what it used to be like. What I'm saying is the boom of LFC TV. You know, I was 17 and people asking me for pictures. I'd only been in the under 18s, and I'm like, you know what I mean? But yeah, did we used to go around trying to get birds in the car? Absolutely. Or try and get birds numbers? Yeah. We was young, none of us had any birds. We did. And, you know, have I ever tried to use the Liverpool card in front of anyone in the line? No. Not, you know me enough, man. I've never said that. You know what I mean? I know Flano would never say Craig Rodden, Matty McGivern. Any one of us, we're just normal lads. We like the night out like everyone else, but when we was at work, we was at work.
Yeah.
Or we were apprentices. But people, this city is a lot of hearsay, you know, and that's what I've learned is unless you've seen it with your own eyes, you can't always believe it.
Yeah, 100%. We done the thing, didn't we, about I had the example of Darren Tillon. I met him at a function, only got like a quick photo with him, and he seemed nice for the 30 seconds I spoke to him. And then I see me mate or something, and he was like, "Oh, he's a bellend him." And I went, he seemed alright. He said, "Oh, nah, I've heard he's a bellend." I went, "Oh, you've heard?" So like,
Exactly.
you don't know, you just, and it's like, someone might have caught someone on an off day or something.
Of course.
And then that's it. Now, just that's it. Opinion formed. They'll tell them, and you're like,
And that's how it happens, and that's the unfortunate thing. I don't think it's just Liverpool though. It's any city what it's like. You know, where I live now, it's a lot of Towie infested people, but like
Towie infested.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is, like, I had a prejudgment of them.
Yeah.
So I look at myself, but you know, I'm good friends with a lot of them now. Like, they're really nice, down to earth people. Like James Argent, Joey Essex, Jake Hall.
I met Joey Essex. He's funny, isn't he?
So he used to live underneath where I was living. So I used to see him all the time, and so I see him in the cafe the other day. He's just sound.
Yeah.
But
he's thick as fuck, but he's sound.
Absolutely, yeah. You know what I mean? But there's a thing with them, not so much the football, because there's so many clubs around where I live. You know, West Ham, and like I'm saying before. But here, as soon as one person you get to be in the bonnet about something, they'll say prick him or anything like that, and then that goes round and filters round, but it's not true.
Yeah.
And that's why you have to, you know who your mates are, and it's great, you're getting this attention at 17, 18. What are you meant to say? No, please leave me alone, or please don't.
But like you said, the funny thing is that every other 17-year-old's trying to do what you're doing anyway. Do you know what I mean?
You know, that's what I'm saying. Who hasn't said, well, should we do another lap past there now? You know what I mean?
Right.
And
Did it go to your head at some point?
yeah, I'd say so, but not to the fact of where I would be.
I'm a big time superstar.
No
or
chance.
No?
That's just laughable to me. Not a chance. You know, and anyone, you know, I think a lot of people would vouch for that, people who actually know me. I would be like trying to do as much as I could for me friends, you know. Have I done stuff for the wrong people? Absolutely. But I was a kid living in this bubble, touted to be the next big thing, playing with my heroes every single day. Like, what am I meant to think? I'm not doing well. I was doing really well. Like, I didn't want to put myself down to be like, oh no, I'm doing shit, I better stay in tonight. I was doing really well. And I didn't, like I'm saying, I didn't know any difference. I was always taught, be humble and keep your feet on the floor. My dad would slap me around my face if he would have seen any of that. You know, he'd said to me a couple of times, watch, why are you going out tonight? Or why are you trying to step out of line again? You've been out there. And sometimes I'd be like, you know what, mate, you're right, I'd stay in. But would I go on holiday once a year? Would I go out? Like, this is what I'm saying. Is I'm making out, I used to go every single weekend. It weren't true. I'd probably go out 8-10 times a year. But when I go out, there'd be this big thing. They're out again, or it weren't. You know, we weren't lucky enough. We was lucky enough to be in a position where we was, but you know, every time you step out, you could be in a restaurant having dinner and actually going home, but then you were seen on a night out. It's not true.
Yeah, I remember Kev said that, didn't he? He said he'd be careful even if he was going into a pub to have a Sunday roast, he'd be careful to try and avoid. Not the photos or anything like that, but just to be seen in a pub.
Yeah, he was like talking about parking his car in certain places, wasn't he? Because people would drive past and that's his car parked there, and
why is it
been
a
out.
pub?
Yeah. If I'd been out and I knew I weren't drinking, and we all was getting a picture, I'd purposely go like that with a bottle of water, purposely. But not because I'd wanted to, but just to show that I weren't drinking this day. But don't get me wrong, I've got a picture with a beer in my hand or something like that. If I was drinking, because I didn't feel like I was breaking any rules.
I know,
but that's what I'm saying is, if you were seen on a picture, you know, in a nightclub or like you're saying, having a Sunday roast. I used to be so conscious that I'd be like that, like getting a picture like that, holding me bottle of water, you know, because people just perceive, oh, he's out again him. But no, I'm just not. I'm having me dinner.
It's the only sport is like rugby players can be seen out, golfers. There's something about footballers. I don't know what it is there's that stigma of people going out and like you said, 10 times a year. I mean, fucking hell,
there's no city who loves football as much as this city. Obviously, I've never been like Brazil or however that, but in this country, Liverpool, and like you were saying earlier, and it can be the biggest hindrance or the biggest push. You know, it's so good to be from this city and support your own, and you know, we're all cut from the same cloth, but the same people who want to big you up are also saying, oh, he's like that, if you've done the littlest thing maybe to piss them off or something like that, but you haven't even meant it. So it's the best thing, it's the hardest thing, but you've got to have such a strong mentality as a young footballer in this city to go on and push on again, and there will be people trying to drag you down, but then there's also great people who big you up. So you've got to kind of take it as it is. Do you know what I mean?
And what was it like, the kinds of positives in it, where you turn up, you just mentioned then you go into work with your heroes every day. I mean, when you were first getting a call up to Melwood, I mean, the players in that team around then, what was that like?
Mate, so obviously the academy was probably an 8-minute drive to West Derby, the worst drive in the whole world. You think, oh my God, it's like you're going for a fight with someone. You're thinking, oh, I'm with the first team today, I'm with the first team. Oh my God. And then that drive, so then you get there and it's kind of, you've got no time, you go in your training kit and you just run out to the pitch, because it could be a late call up sometimes. Right, we need 2 players, so 2 years will bomb down there quick. So it's not, you don't get the time to take in your surroundings. But you get a lot more comfortable when you get there full time. Like I end up getting a locker in the first team dressing room and stuff, so that was a lot. But that first initial time, you think, oh my God. Most of the time though, it was when the lads were on international duty, so like the Gerrard wouldn't be there, the Carragher's wouldn't be there. But then you might be left with like, no disrespect to them, maybe a Brad Jones was there, and like Daniel Agger, I think he'd retired from international. So that was the first way into it. Then when you start getting it normally, and then you're going in 2 days in a row, 3 days in a row, that's when you start to feel more comfortable. But you will never ever get comfortable around Steven Gerrard. You just want, when he says good morning to you, you just go, brilliant, you know what I mean? It was
it's funny today you say that as well, knowing that you're in the same profession as him, and you've met him, or you work with him, and yet
even now, like I was with Steven Gerrard quite a bit in not this year, just gone, in last New Year in Dubai. We stayed in the same hotel. Funny enough, Rangers' whole team stayed in the hotel, so I was with Flano a lot, and because we was in the same hotel, and then Gerrard stayed in the same hotel, so I'm going down and everyone's pestering him. And then he's just like, oh, like he'd say it to me, and I'd be like, oh my God, like still now, do you know, it's Gerrard, you know, and like you want to say like, all right, Gerrard, you know what I mean, like that, you know, what happened, Gerrard? That's what they'd all say, wouldn't they? But like, luckily enough, I do know Steven Gerrard, like, but even that, me saying that, I feel like a right mug saying it, like, oh, I do, mate, I'd like,
mate, he gave me a lift home once, mate, after the gym, and I was like, what about it now?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. See, like, we're all getting all giddy, because I love that, I actually love him, and that's what I'm saying is, if you see him, everyone's driving him mad, and then for him to say, come up to me, and, you know, I had a beer with Steven Gerrard, like, and I'm like, mate, and we were speaking about it, I was saying, man, I love you, you know, and, you know what I mean? Like, but he was like, I know, like, I knew this, like, but he was great with me when I was young, unbelievable, and that's what I'm saying.
Was there a Scouse thing, like, with Carragher and Gerrard looking after you type thing?
Yeah, so basically I never knew this, so I don't think I've ever told this either, but I never knew this. So when we go down to Melwood at Christmas, Carragher used to be over nice to me, I used to think, mate, Carragher loves me. So years later, I was about 16, stayed off school, I had a tooth taken out, my nan, no longer with us, but my nan took me to the dentist. So I was asleep on the couch, and I used to be fascinated with jails. So I was asking my nan, like, I know what it's like in jail, and I used to watch all the jail programmes. She said, well, why don't you ask your dad? I said, what? So she's like, so I found out when I was 16, when I was 8 or 9, my dad had went to jail. I was told he was working away in Birmingham. Obviously for my own good at the time, probably not to worry me. So, anyway, went on, you got something to tell me, mate? 16, he said, your nan, I'll kill her, you know what I mean? Found out my dad's done something when he was young. He crashed his car, ended up being his fault. And he ran off worried, scared, end up getting an 18-month sentence, whatever, he made a mistake. So he went into jail. I was only young, but he ended up being pad mates with Jamie Carragher's dad. So my dad would go on a visit with Jamie Carragher, with Philly Carragher, and Jamie had come, so he knew my dad was a big Liverpool fan, so we'd take him on the visits. So my dad would be telling him, my boys at the academy, Adam Morgan, like, please, if you ever... So he used to always, like, really look out for me, but I'd never knew this. I used to think Carragher loves me. Then I only found out years later, so Carragher had the right soft spot for me when I was young. And then I said it to him, mate. And he was like, yeah, your dad come on a few visits and that. I think he'd done something like whatever, made a mistake or whatever. But that's how I got an affiliation with Jamie Carragher.
That's nice how he looked after you, remembered it then.
And that's what I'm saying, is you look after your own, and Gerard used to always look after me and stuff like that, especially with tickets as well. You know, like if when I was getting around the first team, I'd go and be the 19th, 20th man, but he'd say, how many tickets do you need? Like, he wouldn't let me come up. He'd always say, how many do you need? He'd always look after me, and is your dad coming? Is your mum coming? How are they? And that was enough for me. So the Scousers were unbelievable, and Flano was already up there before me, Jack Robinson was already up before me, so I fitted in quite well. I'd still be really nervous, you know, in the boxes at the start and that, but it was fucking amazing, mate.
On the Peter Crouch podcast, they said that the captains
sorted the tickets.
Is that true then? Yeah. Mm-hmm. So Gerard literally sorts the tickets
for away games. Yeah.
For away games.
So when I was on the bench in the Premier League, I knew I was going to be on a bench against West Ham. And I was going up there, thinking, mate, I need 6 tickets here. Shit, I've got to ask him, me. So, like you were saying, I went to Carragher and said, like, mate, how do I ask Stevie? Like, can I have these tickets? He said, just fucking ask him. Like, you know what I mean? Fucking ask him. So I said, nah, I'm not asking him. So I got told where to sat on the coach. Once I sat in someone's seat, I can't even remember who it was, I got moved quick. Everyone had a set seat, so I used to get on last, think, where can I sit here? And I just slide in. And I just heard, oh no, don't you need to ask Stevie, son? No. So I had to walk to the back of the coach past everyone like that. I was thinking, oh, man. He said, but they'd planned it, you know what I mean? Something to ask me, mate. He'd already wrote down how many tickets I wanted, he said. So I said, I just kept looking at the floor. He said, look, no, come on, look at me. He was laughing at it. He said, you wouldn't mind if you can have 6 tickets? I said, what? I said, you wouldn't mind if I can have 6 tickets, please? And then he said, no. I'm like, yeah, no problem. So I got halfway back and they shouted me back and said, they were just both laughing at me, but that just made me feel a lot more, I'm glad they done it to me, even though I was went up like, mate, I was like, I was actually like, probably had poo in my undies, but like, I was like, he already had me written down, like, my name's 6, he'd already done it, but they just stuff like that to get everyone laughing. I don't care if it was at me, but that just shows you part of the group. Some of the stuff that happens in them dressing rooms, mate, Jesus Christ, honestly, it's like...
What was going to say, what was the like the banter like with it, and that was it?
Oh yeah, no,
what like, you'd expect, like the piss taking and all that, and
not so much in a Liverpool dressing room that I remember, but I used to get a right hard time off Brad Jones, right hard time.
Really? Yeah.
Oh my God, I used to hate him. Honestly.
Why are they? That's a random.
Brad Jones, it's mad, innit? Yeah. Brad Jones, I know, but I used to really didn't like him. Honestly, he used to it makes me feel horrible. Anything I'd do, he'd have something to say about it. I'd come in a black Adidas jacket, he'd like, you're referee today. But like, he should go, you know what I mean? But like, or I'd come in a new trainers, he just eyed them, like, sound. Yeah. But like, it was just, I felt like he was just going away. So I'd go home and say to Dad said, like, mate, like, be respectful and that. So one day I come back and I'm strong. I said, mate, I don't know why you're giving me shit. I've probably played more games than you. But like, he obviously, I was just, but he kind of wanted me. He said, that's what I wanted. He was antagonising me, so I'd say something back to him. And I'd say, you want to be a dickhead all the time, like, or whatever. And I'd come back to him. And then ever since then, he was good as gold with me. Good as gold. And then years later, seeing him, I said, mate, why would you just do that to me? He said, you'll thank me one day for that. And I do thank him now. I didn't ever hate him, but I just think, mate, he's picking on me.
Yeah.
Like, I can't wear nothing. In the end, I used to actually be worried, thinking, mate, like, is this all right today? Brad Jones is going to say something to me. But he said, but now I take stuff from that. I wouldn't go as strong as he did, because he made me feel like a dickhead. But, sorry, I keep swearing, don't I?
But you can swear what you want. Swear what you want.
That's just the way it's talk.
Yeah.
But he used to make me feel really low about myself and like really worried going in. So then in the end, I weren't worried about seeing a Gerrard and Carragher's or anything like that. I used to think, what the Brad Jones didn't say anything to me today. But he'd done it for a reason. He'd done it to make me bite back at him. He wanted it. Because he said someone had done that to him and it really helped him. So he really liked me, but I thought he didn't really like me. And that's what I've done.
Tough love, yeah.
So it's tough love, absolutely. And
to trying to make sure you don't just roll over and just like,
that's the worst thing you can do, is roll over.
Yeah.
Or when you do have your initiation song, you have to do it. Even though, look, you cry afterwards, but you have to do it. Because that's what they want to see. And they know within 2 minutes who's going to survive and who won't. You see it, even I knew.
I think the mentality's massive in it. Like you've already mentioned it before, but the mentality's a thing, but did you notice, I mean, it's an obvious question, but did you notice the skill level just go to another level? I mean, what's that like when I don't know, I'd be nervous about controlling the ball if you didn't know that,
like, when you go up there, you want to do everything safe the first time, like, just pass the ball, move. But then, the more you do it, the more comfortable you get, like anything. But you see the people who are too nervous, and I was very lucky being a Scouser, but I was also very unfortunate being a Scouser, because it wouldn't have mattered to me. Say, for example, I went and played for Chelsea. I don't really care I wouldn't have cared if that was Frank Lampard and he was passing me the ball, and if he said something to me, I would say, oh, shut up. That's what was my thing. But if Steven Gerrard says something to you, you don't want to let him down. So if he's there, you're passing the ball and that's it. Or Jamie Carragher, you're passing the ball. Or like if I was playing against Carragher, there's no way I would have went in and slide tackled him. No way in the whole world. But if that was John Terry, I would have went in and slide tackled him, because it's only John Terry. Like, he's a great player, but I have a massive respect for John Terry. But Jamie Carragher's my hero. Steven Gerrard, you don't want to do that. Like, no way I'm doing that. Like, that's how it was. And you'd ask any Scouser going into that team, that's how it was. And the best thing I ever seen is when Jack Robbo, there's a video on there, Jack Robbo tells Suarez to fuck off. Like, on the thing. So type in Jack Robinson, So Jack Robinson versus Oldham. It should come up.
Versus Oldham,
yeah. Or it'll be with Suarez. So look, Jack Robinson tells Suarez. But that's something,
Let's play it here. Let me just get this sound here.
So Jack
Robinson's come in behind Oldham.
So he's had a shot into the thing.
Suarez is giving him
so he's told him to fuck off there. But that's what I'm saying is, he had an unbelievable mentality. That's why he's still in the Premier League now, because he took it into his stride. I'm no longer a young boy now. I have to go and show again that I can be a player here. But I didn't have that kind of. I had it about me but I'd always be respectful. He's not being disrespectful there. He's just being a normal player, because he knew he belonged in the first team. I didn't ever really feel like I belonged there. I hadn't earned my stripes like he had, or like Flano had, because they would go and tackle anyone. Like Flano, was probably ended a few people's careers the way he used to tackle. But see, something like that is how the young lads have to do it, and the older lads want to see that. They want to see you're not scared to do that, and if you are, that's the thing where it's like he's not ready, because you have to go in. You see the interviews with Gerrard. He says, I was obsessed with moving people out the way. That's what you have to. I should have felt like it was an absolute competition between me and Luis Suarez, or me and Andy Carroll, or me and Fabio Borini.
Yeah.
But I looked at them as their first team players. I can't do that. It took me months and months and months to,
Do you think you realised it too late?
Absolutely.
So it really had an impact then, yeah?
Absolutely. The first time I ever realised it, that I'd actually got over, is I went head to head with Jordan Henderson in a training session. Because we were playing, like, used to play, for example, like Cockneys versus rest of the world, versus Scousers versus Latinos, or something like that. So, and he ended up on the London team because obviously the numbers or whatever. I was on the Scousers, and we was arguing over a decision. And this weren't Jordan Henderson, Liverpool captain. Now this was Jordan Henderson, probably 2 years older than me. I was thinking, yeah, all right, you're in the face. I'm not scared of you. I love Jordan Henderson now. I love him, but we kind of was arguing over the decision, and then something happened, a little tackle, and we went head to head, and I was thinking, I'm not scared of you, like, but I wouldn't have, in my wildest dreams, I've got up and said to Gerrard, mate, you're wrong there, you're wrong, like, blah, 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 and had a go with him, but that's what he probably would have, or went in with a tackle on Gerrard.
I'd have
moved out the way, I'm not the biggest tackler in the whole world, but if John Flanagan wouldn't have moved out the way, Johnny would have went and nailed him. Jack Robinson would have went and nailed him.
It's interesting, that mentality.
Not
then,
like
isn't
you'd
it?
get near him, or like, what I'm saying is, but they didn't have any fear. Maybe inside they did, but they would never go out and show it. Whereas I think I learned too late is when I stood up to myself a little bit more and thought, I'm part of this group now, so you're not just going to walk on me. Not that, what I'm saying is I'm making out that no one tried to walk on me, but that's what I just felt like. Oh, if anyone says anything, okay, that's right. That's
your mindset thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, because I loved Liverpool so much. Like, I'm thinking, if I go and tackle him and he misses the weekend, I'm going to cost the club. Like, that's how I used to get so nervous about it. But then when I finally stood up for myself, I thought, right, I'm part of this group now. But I realised a little bit too late.
You know, before you eventually did leave Liverpool, how many loan spells did you do?
In one loan spell. But when the loan spell to Yeovil was, I was already done. The contract was already signed to then move on after the next month.
Because what was that like? Because you've gone from being at the academy and then to which you had, and then suddenly you go and you drop in a league or two.
Loan league, to the championship. It was horrible.
Was it?
Like I said, I'd only ever known from 5 to 19. You go from my house in Elwood to the academy in Kirby, or my house in Elwood to West Derby to Melwood, and then overnight on the loan window, I was 5 hours away, living in Yeovil in a hotel. No mum and dad there, no bed, nothing, and I was just, my whole life had changed like that. So I was in my agent's office in town, 12 o'clock in the day. He said, you need to make a decision now. It's either Leicester, Yeovil or Carlisle. You have to decide now before 8 o'clock tonight. I'm like, what do you mean? It's like, well, I could maybe squeeze and get you another year, but you're not going to get in the first team now, so what, do you want to go and play in the reserves for another year? And like I said, I believed in myself. So I said, right, I was thinking to myself, right, I'll go and rip this championship up and then get a big move back to Liverpool. That's what I was thinking. Ian Rush done it. Even though he'd been in, but that's what I used to think. I'd know back in the day I was massive Liverpool, like Statman would know everything, like I'd watched all the videos and that. But so I'd thinking, alright, well I'm going to show everyone now. I'll use this as, because they had a buyback option on me, so I'll use this as right. I'll go out and get me games, come back and you'll bet you buy me back. That's still my mentality. But then when I went to Yeovil, my confidence just went to that. It was hard time. Started off alright, so.
No, what's mad, mate, before you say about your experience in Yeovil, how did it make you feel then as well, going from, because there's that clip, isn't there, on Brendan Rodgers saying, talking about your work ethic, your attitude, and, you know, really building you up, saying all that, to then suddenly, you know, the shipping you out on loan into a potential move. I mean, what? Yeah,
that was tough. Like, even now, so where I was saying I started off my business, I got a Instagram request, a message. I come up, Man City, 16 million followers, wants to send you a message. I'm thinking, what is going on here? Anyway, long story short, come up, Raheem Sterling's just about to score his 100th goal for Man City. We're doing a piece on him, on what he was like when he was younger. He said to ask you to do it, because obviously he knows I have some stories and I worked very close. Most of my goals were because of him. And then obviously there's the clip where Brendan Rodgers saying you need to be more like him. Don't ever say steady to me again. You need to have an attitude more like him. And he points at me. I look and I laugh now, like, yeah. But so obviously they wanted me to explain what he was like when he was young. So I messaged him and said, mate, it's this round. He said, yeah, do whatever you need to do. And I've said to them, you'd be good to talk about me. So I think he had like Joleon Lescott talk, me talk, and a couple of others. So I was honoured to be asked that. But that story will always stay with me. That tour when we went on, I couldn't have been playing better. I was at the youngsters. I was probably the best.
There's that video, isn't there? You run over the Carragher when you scored, and that.
Yeah, there you go. That's what I'm saying. So that's how close I was with Carragher. So when I scored, he said to me before the game, "You want to score?" And I stood down, just give him a big look. It was a friendly, mate. It could have been a World Cup final. Ran off.
Yeah, it's a great video.
But that's something I'll never ever forget. And you know, it's.
I'm just thinking, mate. I like no more than over you than that, mate. And you know, such a kind of nice lad in that sense. And I just think, without trying to bring up kind of shitty memories, when you see Sterling now and you think you're getting told, yeah, he's kind of down there and you're there, it must be hard. Do you know what I mean?
It is at times, and look, it's took me a good few years. Like, I wouldn't have been able to do this ages ago, probably 3 years ago. I was in a really bad place, right depressed. Not because of Sterling's doing really well, or because I'm not a jealous person. He deserves everything he's got, and Sterling was born with a star on his head. If he wanted to be a professional rapper, he'd have been like Drake, do you know what I mean? It's like, he had something about him, so it weren't that, but it was just, I was so disappointed that I had these high expectations and they haven't lived up to what they could. Like, that's what I'm saying. I mean, I can get upset now thinking back of it, you know what I mean? Because I do look and think...
It takes a strong person to admit that, though, and come to terms with it.
I do look and think, Harry Kane weren't better than me. Honestly, and people will laugh, but at 17, 18, he weren't better than me. I'm not saying we weren't close, but he couldn't finish the ball better than me. So I think, what did I do so wrong, mate? But, so like, I'd love to be sitting here and say, look, this is what happened, and this is why. I've got no thing for it.
No explanation.
I haven't done it.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
So I haven't been in trouble with the police. I haven't had something where I've said something about someone's wife or bed, or I haven't done anything like that. It was kind of, when I went to Yeovil, I should have then kicked on again. And then went and done that, but I didn't get a chance to adapt. I was overnight. So I left on the Thursday. I was playing against Watford in the Championship on the Saturday. Played 85 minutes, won 3-0 at Vicarage Road. I'm thinking, mate, this champ's great. I want to rip it up here. Played Blackpool Tuesday night, won 1-0. John Lunny scored in that game. He was come on loan with me to Yeovil from Everton. He scored and I won 1-0. I'm thinking, nice, we're going to be out this relegation soon. I will get my first goal and all that. Played Charlton on the Saturday, draw 2-2. Me and Lunny got brought off at half time. I'm thinking, what's going on here? Then I didn't play for a little while, and then coming off the bench, but I'm thinking, still a young boy, like, alright. And then he made me life miserable, mate. Miserable.
What manager's this?
Gary Johnson. So before I left, I spoke to Nigel Pearson on the phone, got offered the loan till the end of the season, then the contract, kick him 3-year contract. Yeovil, exactly the same. Yeovil, Carlisle, Leicester, exactly the same. So Yeovil and Carlisle was exactly the same. Yeovil and Leicester was exactly the same deal. Same money, same relocation fee. But the Leicester manager said to me, you'll be training with the first team, but playing for the under-23s at first. I'm thinking, well, I might as well just stay another year at Liverpool and do that. So the Yeovil manager said to me, you will be starting on Saturday in the Championship. So was it a little bit of bad advice from agents at the time? Maybe, to go to Yeovil. One of the agents in the company, who I end up going back to for help years later, was telling me, go to Leicester. One was saying go to Leicester, one was saying go to Yeovil. But my kind of representation in that was saying go to the Yeovil. So that's why years later, when I was looking to maybe get into the agency side of all help as well, I went back to this same man, as Dave Brammer. I went back to him, and he said, he opened arms, welcomed me back, and said, look, I'll help you in any way you can. I went for a few meetings with him, but he was telling me, go Leicester. And
even that's like that sliding doors thing. It's just
it really is.
So get on this then. So, like I'm saying, is half of the season on loan, but it was already done. So, like, if the loan would have went bad, I still couldn't have went. It was, the contract was signed. On my 3rd year of my contract in Leicester is when he won the Premier League.
Fucking hell.
So whether I'd have been in the team, around the team, I'd have been a Leicester player when he won the Premier League.
Fucking hell, that is mad.
And that crosses you. Does it cross your mind, Adam?
Every day, mate. Well, it did a lot more, not so much anymore, but
mate, your mindset, you got to be a strong, resilient person, mate. Fucking, I think, mate.
Can you imagine?
That'd be tough.
Can you
imagine?
Mate,
I don't know if it's comparable or not, but you know when you hear these stories of, like, recently there's been a few stories about people who have had like Bitcoin on like a memory drive, and they're like been buried or whatever, or they can't remember the password. And it's like that fucking, like, you know, that's so close. And like,
was that one last week about the Euro Millions, wasn't it? They didn't put the lottery. Yeah. Fucking hell. He's sickening, something like that. 18 mil.
I'm saying, like that's what happened with that Bitcoin. And my mate who I play with now, he's like the assistant manager, but he plays as well, still at Chelmsford. He put 10 grand into Bitcoin. He went up to 1.1 million. He didn't cash out, and he said he played the game last year, or maybe last year, the year before, And he played the game, he lost 120 grand during the game. He said he come in, checking it before the game, lost 120 grand. He ended up cashing out at 250 grand from his 10 grand investment. But
It's fair enough, yeah.
It would have been even more now.
That's what I'm saying. So why he didn't cash out at 1.1 million? Thought, I better get a cash out $250,000. But then, listen, I think he's done really well out of it.
Yeah.
But
the point is, it's like it's whether you take it back on yourself and you start to get angry at yourself and like frustrated at yourself is obviously something. I don't know if you did it, Adam, or not. Or
no,
like...
absolutely, mate. I was so hard on myself. Like the amount of times I've sat there on my own. I have bought a property in Yeovil. I've still got it now. Just rented out. I've never ever been back. The minute I left, I just give it to a letting agency. It just gets rented out now. So luckily enough.
Why did it start going wrong there then? After like
I
6
look
months
back now. So after we was bottom of the championship, about to go down, and he was coming out in the press, he hasn't got his championship legs yet. But mate, I'd just come from playing in the reserves. Like I'd moved for like 300 miles to Somerset. I'm waiting for a house to go through. I'd lived with my mum and dad my whole life. Didn't have no bed. I was on there on my own, living in a hotel. Like, just still getting to know people. I only knew John Lunny, like, and Shane Duffy. So I only knew them. And then like all the other lads were great with me. But I'm like, give me a chance, man, to like adapt to my surroundings.
Yeah.
But it was like, I look back now and feel how much pressure he must have been under because we're getting relegated. So he's made this big signing, wearing a big signing, but like coming from Liverpool, he might save the day. I hadn't adapted enough yet, so then he started leaving me out, and then I had to go up to Liverpool a week to collect all my stuff because, like I'm saying, I went on deadline day, so I didn't have a chance to pack everything. Or I got a bag in my car, blah blah blah, a few bits, trainers, whatever. So I had to have a weekend where I had to go to Liverpool. You always want to go home, you and all that. So that's all it was. You just dig me out in meetings that it was my fault, or I hadn't even played, and I'm like. Mate, I'm like scared little 19-year-old kid, and this big, well, not this little fat Yeovil man just giving me shit, all horrible. And I'm thinking, I haven't done anything, mate, here. All I've done is sign for your team, and I haven't really set the world alight yet. But I've moved out, I've been here 8 weeks, I'm still living in a hotel, mate. I haven't got a cook, I can't cook my own stuff, I'm eating out every night. Give me a minute, like. I've never seen any difference. I've been to Rotherham again, lived in a hotel for 6 weeks on loan, but that weren't like, I knew I was always going back to Liverpool. I was still really highly thought of at this stage. So he was putting
and 19 as well, you forget 19's fucking young.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
putting that much pressure on me. And then like, so he just took a dislike to me, he took a dislike to me, Lunny, even Shane Duffy. Shane Duffy once stormed out of training because he just even though Shane Duffy's Irish, the Liverpool and Everton contingency didn't like. And Lunny would be on the bench, then he'd play sometimes. Shane Duffy had in his contract he had to play, and he would definitely play in anyway because he was the best centre half of the club, obviously. But he had to play, even if he had this big massive argument, he stormed off and stuff. But it weren't Duffy's fault. He used to antagonise us all the time. But that's how it started. And then he used to just one day he said, "You're not training with us no more." And then there was no reserve team, no under 18s. I used to train on my own. Trained on my own for like 8 months. Every single day, twice a day. For no reason. And then after about 4 months, then I went allowed to get changed in the dressing room. So I had to get I had my own dressing room, the away dressing room. Anyone seen in there with me, fine. That's how he isolated me so much.
Did you not question this? Like, what the fuck's going on?
Yeah. Absolutely. So my agent would be on to him. He said, no. Stuff like that. But in the end, I just went into my own bubble, just depressed. And then eventually I moved into my house because it'd all been going through. So like I moved in, mate. I just lived on chicken wings and noodles every day. I couldn't be arsed cooking. I just put them in the oven, get in, watch the dart to be betting me bollocks off. All stuff like that, like missing home, FaceTime to my mum and dad, FaceTime to whoever. You know what I mean? I was just always wishing my life away. Just bought my first house. Just been moved to the Championship. Still like was doing well financially and that. Then he just made me feel so low, like I was worthless. 4 or 5 months earlier, I was playing for Liverpool on the bench in the Premier League, and now look at me, I'm a piece of shit on his shoe. But why is that? For no reason. So I did question it, but he was a scary man, to be honest, at the time. Scary man, and then so I was training on my own. So anyway, I started going into right real shape. So I used to have to be, say, I can't remember the timings, but say the lads had to be in at 10, I used to have to be in 9, or if the lads were in at 9, I'd come in at 10, so the lads wouldn't see me. So when the time I was in at 9, the lads would all start coming in at 10 when I'd be finishing off my session. I swear to my mum's life, I'd done the bleep test probably every day for 8 weeks, the bleep test. That used to, so I'd do that in the morning and I'd have to go to the gym in the afternoon. So in the end, when I got more comfortable and realised this is what I was doing now, when I do the 9 o'clock one, I'd start doing it without the shirt on so the lads would see me. So then I'd take my shorts off. Then one day I'd just do a bollock, you know what I mean? Just start doing it. So I thought, fuck it now, right? If this is how you want to play, no worries. So anyway, I was just, then in the end, but my scores were unbelievable. I was probably one of the fittest, yeah. So I was doing this. So they drew Man United in the FA Cup. We drew Man United in the FA Cup, 3rd round at Yeovil. So it was about the 6th of December, and the game went until the 5th of January. So he pulled me in his office and said, we're looking to sack you. We don't want you around the club. We've got a massive game coming from in January. Go home. I'm like, what do you mean? It's like, go home. We don't want you around the club. Because he knew, like, you can actually get it up on it. All the lads were calling for me. So I'd be sitting in the stand and they're all singing, Adam Morgan, da 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 da. All the Oval fans. And I used to just sit there like that. And I knew he could hear it. And anytime, like, I'd stand up, because we used to sit right behind, but if I'd stand up to go for the weight, he'd all start clapping me and all that. But I'd be right embarrassed, because they're all thinking I've done something. I wanted to come out and say, I don't know what I've done. Because all the old fans were great with me, to be honest. And then, like, come out, after he'd been sacked, to come out, all the lads come out and said, look, we was all behind them, and he knew the lads were behind me, and like they'd all come in the dressing room anyway. They wouldn't care, they'd find the five, they'd all say, no, get in the dressing room with us. So he sent me home because he knew I had an influence in the dressing room as a young boy. Like, I was a funny lad and messing around, all the lads loved me. And so he sent me home from the 6th of December till the 6th of January, fully paid. He said, we're going to sack you when you're back. So I'm like, I'm panicking now, thinking, this is only my first year. What do you mean you're going to sack me? So I got like a sports lawyer and he said, what have you done? I said, nothing. He said, well, it's impossible to sack you. Anyway, goes back at the 6th of January, just lost to Man United 2-0. Goes in, my mum said, look, son, if you'd ever listen to me once, kill him with kindness. Sitting across to him like this. He's giving it to me, you're fucking doing this and this. I'm saying, I'm not. I said, listen, Gary, listen, Gaffer. I said, mate, I come here like to learn from someone like you. He's like, looking at me like that. I said, mate, you know, I know what you've done with this club. You know, you've got them from League 2 to the Championship. I thought this would be a great experience. Okay, mate, I haven't started off great on the pitch, but I haven't done anything to you. You know, I haven't said anything about your wife, your kids. I haven't, mate, I've come here to learn from a great manager like you. But his steam is coming out his ears. I think I've got him. He was saying, no, we're going to do this. We're going to say you done this, just making stuff up. I'm saying, okay, mate, you can do this, mate, but why does it have to be like this? That's what I'm doing. Mate, please, I'm a young boy. I'm trying to learn from people like you. You know, I want to be involved. I've got a lot to offer. I've been at Liverpool. He said, mate, no. He's just talking to himself now. Me and you, one day, we're going to meet outside football. I'm like, I've got him here. I've got him. So, this sports lawyer said, record it in your pocket so you've got it in case he ever makes up a lie. So I had him on record to say, mate, we're going to make this up. So yeah, I had them anyway, so I knew. So I'm even more selling it now. Like, why do you have to be like this? You're intimidating me now. I feel scared. Yeah, I'm doing all this. He said, no, we're going to meet outside football one day. Next minute I just went, anytime you want then. That was anytime you want. He said, right, get out my office, yeah. So I'm not going to stand up now. So I said, all right, no worries, mate. I said, it's unfortunate we can't sort this out. So I thinking, I don't know if you've never been to Yeovil, but the manager's office is in the tunnel. So anyway, I think he's just going to, he stands up, comes behind me, and I think he's just going to slam the door, follows me into the tunnel, he's pushing his shoulder into me, saying, come on. So I'm like, mate, think I'm going to hit you? Yes, you think I'm going to hit you so you can go on the floor and you sack me? I said, come on, mate, I'm better than that. But I would have, if I wouldn't have seeked advice from a sports lawyer. He's saying, you don't do anything. So he's pushing his shoulder, saying, come on. I'm saying, mate, you're not going to do nothing, are you? You're not going to do nothing. So I'm thinking, where are all the lads? So walk down the corridor to the physio room, open the door and said, boys, look, who's coming on to who? And he's saying to me, you. this in my face, this in my face. Bear in mind, we lost about 4 in a row, and I hadn't been playing. Just lost to Man United. So I'm saying, all the boys are laughing. I'm saying, boys, look, who's coming? He's in my face. I'm like standing up against the wall saying, you are intimidating me now. You're intimidating me. All the lads are crying, laughing. Because I'm still speaking to them all. They're saying, what's his problem? So, look, I probably shouldn't have said what I said next, but the assistant manager runs up, grabbing him away. I said, mate, do you think I'm arsed? I said, you're going to get sacked before me. Because we've been losing. So there was rumours he was getting sacked. So this was on a Tuesday. So by this time, I thought I was going to be leaving. So I rented my house out to one of the lads and I was living with me mate Kevin Dawson and his bird. So I was in a bad stage, mate. I weren't sleeping, weren't eating properly. I was depressed. Like, just would go home, get in my bed all afternoon, watch my laptop. I watched Prison Break 55 times. That used to be my comfort. Just get in the bed, curtains down, watch Prison Break all day. Go out, have my dinner, go back to bed. His bird and him was like a mum and dad to me when I was down there. My dad wanted to come down and beat him up, the manager. So I'd said this to him, don't worry, you're going to get sacked before me. So he ran back at me. He was going to punch me. I'd got him. And I knew, by being so kind to him, then saying that, I'd got him. And I know, I was thinking, if he hits me, I'm going straight to the floor now. That's what I'm doing. Because that's what I was told to do. Anyway, the manager, assistant's got him in a headlock, pulling him away, saying, bye-bye. You're going to get sacked before me. Shouldn't have said it, but like you're saying with the Kev Ellison thing, he antagonised me that much. I had a breaking point. He was making me train on my own. I couldn't eat with the lads, couldn't see the lads really. Go in the gym, had to wear a heart rate monitor, no one else was. So he was actually purposely bullying me. He was bullying me, made my life a misery. Never, any time there was a weekend off, no one allowed to go home past Bristol. So he knew what he'd do. All the lads would be kind of local, London, you could go London to Bristol, he'd put a radius on it, so no Scousers could go home. What? That's what he'd do. In the end, a few times we'd just slip home, do you know what I mean? But that's what he'd say. No one past a certain radius, he'd throw it on the board, no one past a certain radius allowed to go home. If you caught.
This guy sounds like a fucking psychopath. What's your,
I suppose as a footballer you get a lot of time off anyway. What's your mindset in the sense of, you just touched on it a bit there, but I mean, like, you're at home, I mean, I only know through when I was injured. Mm-hmm. Like I'm being from Liverpool, I think Liverpool's a city of sport and like betting and drinking and I mean, what are you like with all those things as well?
Horrendous. I've been through them all. Mate. But sorry, I will go on to that, but I just want to finish off this one story. So I was like I was saying, I'm staying with my mate Kevin Dawson's Tuesday night, and it'll relate onto it. We was heavy on the betting at the time. Tuesday night, we got a day off Wednesday, goes to the casino. Goes about 10 o'clock to play in the poker. Stays there till 6 o'clock in the morning. I hadn't had a drink, nothing like that, but we was playing the poker, so we had a day off the next day. So I'm, again, almost 6, just stayed in bed the whole day, all depressed. I think I'd lost my money. Depressed all day. Comes in, wakes me up about 2:30. He's being sacked. Gary Johnson, the next day after I said that to him, got sacked. Mate, we are celebrating, right? I swear down. For a minute, I forgot how depressed I was. I was jumping up. I could have lost like $3,000 the night before or something, and I ended up just celebrating like that. Come on! So like, what happens now? But I'm thinking like, right, I better get a shower today. I didn't use it like, I just was a scruffy cunt, you know what I mean? I was like, I just weren't bothered. There was all long hair and all that. Have you still got that picture of me? No. When I end up getting my hair cut, way longer than this, but at least I've done this now. I used to just leave it and all. I was just horrible. I was just in a bad place, betting all the time. Not so much drinking, bad betting, no. I was like, it was horrendous.
It's like that boredom and depressed kind of thing together. It's not good, is it?
Self-sabotage. I didn't want to win money. All it was is, it doesn't matter how much I had, I was going to lose it. But it was just delaying the inevitable. So that'd entertain me for 4 hours and then I'd lose that day. And then it got to the stage where I was just losing all my money. I'd have like me bit that I'd put away every month. And then in the end I said to my mum, look, I'm going to send this to you each month. So that'd be, but then I'd just lose the rest. Mate, I wasn't playing in the championship, sometimes I'd have no money. You know what I mean? It's mad. So from there, I was caught, but it only come because I was depressed. I had nothing. You know what I mean? I barely had any furniture in my house because I was still trying to get sorted and stuff. Bear in mind, I'm going through this, not involved with the team. This was when I first started, still trying to go through the team. I was just betting all day.
On what anything?
Roulette, on the footy, on the poker. If someone gave me a tip, I wouldn't put a 10 on it, put 500 quid on it, you know what I mean? Just daft stuff. But I wanted to lose. It's mad. And I like not so much wanted to lose. Don't get me wrong. I didn't think I want to lose here, but I knew I was going to lose. In the end, it wouldn't matter. I've had times where I've had really a substantial amount of money on the screen, but it was just delaying the inevitable. I'd go on the next day, or I'd stay on then 3 hours longer, or as soon as I wake up before footy, I'd be on there on the poker, see if anyone's online. Got to a really bad stage. Really, really bad stage.
It's scary with the betting like that, because I've done it with myself, and I've had, you know, big money in a betting account, and my dad's like, why don't you just withdraw it? And I'm like, no, I'll just keep playing with it a bit. And he's like, why? You
think you're invincible, don't you, when you're that? You think you can't lose. That's what it was. Mate, I've done some daft stuff, man, honestly. You wouldn't even believe it. Eating me chicken wings and noodles, thinking I can't even afford them again tomorrow. Playing in the championship.
All on betting?
All on betting.
Fucking hell.
Look, again, I was occasional boozer, so it weren't like I was sitting in the house. I wish I was sitting in the house with a bottle of vodka for 30 quid and just passing out. I wish I was doing that at that stage. But don't get me wrong, I've still done okay. I've still done okay, like, because of my mum. She made me buy the house. She said, I don't care, it's the rest of it's your money, you're buying this house. So luckily now, I had a short mortgage, so it hasn't got long left on it, so that's kind of always been my bank, really.
Yeah.
But
what happened with that recording?
Oh yeah, so nothing in the end, because obviously I didn't get sacked. So moving back onto that, Thursday comes, we're in training. So I'm thinking, what do I do? Go in normal time, do what? The assistant manager, Terry Skivet, who made my life just as hell as him, texts me saying, be in my office, say 8:30. So I'm thinking, here we go again. First thing he said to me is, I just want to apologise. I never thought this stuff. He said, but I cannot, I'm second in command. Like, you'll know that more than anyone. I can't go against my superior officer.
Can't undermine him, yeah.
So I had to treat you like he was treating you. Everyone will get a clean slate, you will. But then bearing in mind, like I said, I'd been doing a bleep test at 8 months, 6, 7 months, whatever. Been running every single day on the treadmill. Mate, I was in a little bit good shape. You know what I mean? First day in training, I was like a kid at Christmas, running around, rattling people, banging the goals in. But he said to me in this meeting, step out of line, you'll have the same fate. I said, I've never stepped out of line ever. And I honestly, and yeah, Tom, I'd love to say to you now, this is how I stepped out of line. There was nothing to do in Yeovil. You couldn't get into trouble. There was nothing to do. Honestly, like what I'm saying, I know I keep saying to him, he will tell you, it's not like Liverpool where you can go. There was nothing. There was one nightclub. I went there once in 3 years. I went there once. Neo on the end of season do. That's it. I didn't go out. You know what I mean? So like, that's what I'm saying is, I don't want you to think, oh, you're holding something back here, trying to say, I didn't.
I know, that's what it's hard to believe.
Of course.
Like, why would anyone, a 19-year-old, like, you even, like, 19's college, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, to even be a dickhead to someone who's just moved down all that way, living on their own, I just can't fathom why, hence why you think that, come on, Adam, did you fucking do something?
And exactly what I'm saying is, I'm at a completely different stage mentally, and a different part of my life now. I'd come out and say, this is what I done. I didn't do anything but be a young 19-year-old kid who hadn't adapted. I'd never lived on my own. I didn't know what a water bill was. I didn't know I was stressed. You know, I miss me mates, I miss my family. I was just overnight, in the space of 12 hours, living in a completely different area. And that's you now. Like, oh my God.
Did things improve under the assistant?
Yeah, so Thursday I trained, and he was like, oh my God. But he said to me in the meeting, you won't go back in straight away. I can't be seen to putting you back straight away. Thursday I trained, Friday I trained, pulled me after training. He said, mate, I have to put you in the squad tomorrow. What you've got to do is change your number. Oh no, he put me in his office again. I thought, I know I've been training well, so I knew it went bad. He said, pick a number. So I'm like, what do you mean? He said, be in the squad tomorrow. He said, I think you should change your squad number for this season now. I said, all right. So I went from 29 to 31. Put me on a bench for a couple of games, but when I'd go to warm up, he'd come out in the press saying everyone gets a clean slate. Adam Morgan will be getting a clean slate. All the lads will be behind him. It's still on there. All the lads will be behind him. Everyone wants him back in. So what he'd do is the first couple of games would have noticed. Say we was 1-1 or something or 0-0, he'd make me run up and down warm up. So all the crowd would go, oh God, he'd all scream. So I'd done this for about 2-3 games. And then we was playing Gillingham, and my father-in-law, who lives in Spain, was coming over. So bearing in mind, they kind of knew each other from back in the day, from like East London and stuff, where Terry Skivington was from. So he come up to Doug and said, "You're gonna play him today?" Like, but like having a joke, and he was like laughing with him. Went 1-0 down. Come on, so warming up again. The crowd are going, "Get him on, get him." That's honestly, that's what he was doing. Jeez. Get him on. Next minute, you just there. The whole place stood up. Yeah, so I hadn't played in over a year. I hadn't played the game in over a year.
Yeah, fucking.
So I come on. 20 minutes to go. Played really well. 94th minute, he gets a penalty. I come on for the penalty. I come on for James Hayter. No one in the whole place was getting that ball off me. The kid slammed the ball down. I caught it. So the manager.
I'm fucking nervous here.
Terry Skivington. I get it up on there.
Do you want me to get it up?
Yeah. Terry Skivington, the manager, walked out the stadium to the car park. That's how nervous he was, because he knew no one was getting the ball off me. And then obviously go on.
Yeah. Sorry. I thought you were going to finish his story, but let's let Terry. How do you spell his name?
Type in Adam Morgan, Gillingham or something, or Yeovil, something like that. I think it was
do you not get nervous, do you know?
Oh, we're so nervous.
This is the one.
That's it. And then days afterwards, I'll say, like, obviously.
Should we watch? Obviously, let's watch this
first one. Yeah. You're not getting nervous.
Yeah. Oh, I was.
Right.
Look what I do. Watch what I do. Look, we top this 94th minute. Look, that's just a hard year coming out to me in one.
Mate, what's that feel like?
Mate, that was the best feeling I've ever had. That was like when I scored for Liverpool, and then look, I run to home, like my bird's dad and my bird's brother, bird's cousin and my bird. You know what I mean? And then I knew Gary Johnson would see it, so now you might see me. Terry Skivington comes back in when he hears the shout, and I run to him. Yeah, and then you just see it. But that was my first game back.
For and 1 year
94th minute it was.
First game back after so long, that's mad.
But it was like, and I go on to say, obviously it was written in the stars. I knew I was going to score. I was very nervous, but I knew I was going to score. I didn't know I was going to take my top off, but it was like that hard year just come out of me. And I was like, yes!
Exactly what happened with Kev at the weekend, Kev Ellison.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I always said to myself. I had a vision, and it's mad. I talk now like I'm retired. I'm 26. I talk like I'm retired. But I had a vision of scoring at Wembley in like a playoff final. Say, that's for you, Gary. That's what I used to always envision, but I wouldn't do it so much anymore. But because I look at it from his point of view, I don't know what was going on in his life at that stage. That's how I've kind of tried to adapt my mentality. You know, and, you know, he might just not like my face. You have them people, don't you? I don't like him. Why? I don't know. But
you'd have it with people don't like Scousers sometimes, do you know what I mean? I've had it in the military when that happens.
I don't know if he was actually made the decision on me to go to Yeovil. Could have come from above him, and then he, you know, I don't know. So that's something I'd love to ask him. I'd love to sit down with him now as a man and say, what was your problem? One day I will.
What's he doing now then?
That's okay. So we've got a good chance we could play them one time. But so when it went to Accrington, when I'd left Accrington played Cheltenham a couple of years later. So yeah, he was the manager. So I said to Sean McConnell, I'm coming with you. Went there, sat right behind the dugout, and he knew I was there. And I was thinking, as soon as this game finishes, I'm going to smack you. I thought, I had no club at the time. I thought, I don't care. Well, I get arrested, I'm bothered. But that's how bad my mentality was then. I didn't care. Like I'm saying, my hair was all long. I didn't look after myself. I was just walking around with the biggest chip on my shoulder, thinking, it's his fault. I hate him and all that. I'm going to do him in. Would have been the worst thing I ever done. You know, I'd learned to rise above it. It took a lot of time. A lot of time to really let it go. Will I ever fully let it go? Probably not. But I'm in a lot of better place mentally now than I was. Even probably up until 6 months ago, really. It's so hard, you know, and when people don't understand, you know, what you're going through, and you try and say, I've been with a few counsellors, but I've got a real good counsellor now that I trust with my life, and he's really worked with me, really intense.
Has it helped you talking about it with him? So about everything with the counsellor, yeah? Oh,
absolutely. Like I was having problems with my bird, I was having problems with my mum and dad. You know, I wouldn't make time for my friends anymore. I think everyone was against me, thought the world hated me, but I realised, you know, my mentality had changed because I'd been beaten out of me. I'm not that type of person. I like to think I'm a loyal person, a friendly person, and full of life, but the life had been beaten out of me by one man, you know, one environment. And then I tried to then, I end up, the end of that story is I end up, because in my contract from the Championship, we got relegated that year when Terry Skivington went to League One, we got relegated, so my wages didn't go down. So the new manager come in, Paul Sturrock, and he just said to me, look, mate, we can't have Championship wages in League Two. We have to just come with the deal. So I thought, lovely, right. We made the deal, got paid out. Thought, let me get to Accrington, back home, living back with my mum and dad. I'll go and start again. They was in League Two, I think, or one. John Coleman, Jimmy Bell, sound. Couldn't have been better with me. He was great. Really, really good. But they knew, mentally, I was beaten. I was absolutely beaten. I'd go in and then I had to compete with Billy Key. He was a better player than me at the time. He was perfect for that level. He didn't stop scoring goals. So I was second to him. And then...
Was there anything in you that thought, you know, you need, I guess it's a time thing, but like, that made you want to get your head sorted sooner? Was you just not in a place mentally to do that? Or?
No, yeah. At this time, I'd pretend I wanted to stop betting, or I'd pretend, you know, I was a lot better than what I was. I'd tell my mum what she wanted to hear. Are you alright, son? Yeah. So, man, I feel a lot better now. When I didn't, I was dying inside. You know, it'll be good when you're back at home. Yeah, no. But then I'd still go and lie in my bedroom afternoon. Mum come and get up. I'm a man. Don't tell me what to do. That's what I used to be all the time. But looking back now, my favourite song in the whole world is I Wish That I Knew What I Know Now.
Yeah.
When I was young, because that's what I'm saying, my life would be completely different. But do I regret it happening? No. It's hard because it's made me the person I am now, which I feel like I've done very well now. But it was such a tough time going to Accrington. I just didn't like football anymore. I was going to please my dad and my mum. And I knew, you know, if I get a run of games, I'll score goals. But I didn't even want to run of games. I just didn't want to play football anymore. It's
sad that, innit, knowing that, you know, we spoke to you, you've told us a story from this 5-year-old to now you're still, what, 22, 23 or something, and you've fell out
22, yeah.
And you fell out of love with it.
I know.
It's mad, innit?
But they knew, they'd seen me, they'd seen it happen before with other players. They said, mate, look, you're not in the team at the minute, we think you need to just go away and play. Go away and get your head sorted, come back in pre-season. But I didn't want to lose my fitness, so that's when I ended up going to like Colwyn Bay. But it was just to the end of the season. It was just like to play a few games. They'll be on the Wikipedia, but it was just kind of...
Yeah, because seeing there's then loads of different clubs and that then, isn't it? Yeah.
You know, the Cays and Ashtons. Cays was the rebuilding stage of me, but the kind of... see, there'll be a few more. The Wikipedia. There'll be...
and that was then when you were just...
Colwyn Bay.
Your heart's not in it type thing. You were just bouncing and...
Colwyn Bay was just like to stay, play with the mates, keep the fitness up. Get a couple extra pound a week, as all as it was. But you know, Hemel Hempstead. So Hemel Hempstead 2016. Been with my bed 7 years now. But that's when I thought, right, let me move down to London. I might want to be close to there, because I used to do a long distance relationship as well. So let me try and go there, and I thought, I can't do that, my head was still gone. So I went from Accrington, went there, thought, let me go move down with my bird, Hemel, right by where I live now. Couldn't do it, played 3 games. Colwyn Bay, that was just to the end of the season. Then I didn't play till Cays and Ashton till October. Through my mate Luke Clark, he just said, what are you doing? I said, I'm not playing no more, lad. Not playing no more. So I said to my dad, this Cays and Ashton here, Connie no. He said, please mate, just go for me. So I went there and loved it. And it kind of picked back up. Went to go, Cays and Ashton, I scored about 1 million goals, scored at Atzich in the FA Cup on the telly.
Yeah, that's when Gerard mentioned you.
Gerard
you went out as well though, didn't you?
Yeah, we went out. We 3-0 up, 81 minutes. I'd scored all 3. We lost 4-3. Yeah, and then Gerard done a draw the next day. He mentioned me.
You know, on that point, mate, when you're bouncing, have you kept in touch with any of the lads from Liverpool, any of the staff or anything like that? Because I'm thinking, like, if like the likes of Phil or Clive and like that, I mean, I suppose people might not have wanted to say it to you to kind of be a bit like as a pessimist, but has anyone said like, lad, what's happened here or anything like that? Anyone?
That was my worst question in the whole world. If you like, when I would now, so I'm still living in Liverpool in this it's Colwyn Bay, Cays and Ashton, I'm still living in Liverpool. When I would go to town, mate, what's happened? That's why I wanted to move out to the city. Everyone used to say to me.
Because you've lived your life, I guess, on it's been in the public, hasn't it?
Exactly. So I'd go out and it wouldn't matter. Someone said, mate, you know, like, when you had a Morgan. And that's when I used to just got used to saying I used to be. That's what because I was just like thinking, fuck off, mate. Fuck off. They're not saying anything wrong. They're just generally asking and being nice people. but it's like,
What happened? Yeah,
What
it's
happens?
hard.
It's a reminder, innit?
Oh, yeah.
and like you don't get this stage to, you don't get this kind of platform to say this is what happened. Not a lot. I was a young boy, my head went because I was getting mentally bullied. And look, I'm not afraid to say it now. I was getting bullied.
Yeah, it fucking hell,
Like,
mate. Sounds fucking
you know,
horrendous.
I was getting really bullied. So then, when I went to Cays and Ashton, that's when I found my love for footy again. I loved it. So went in, played on the telly. I come back in, I swear down, I must have had 12 messages from agents after that game. Someone actually promised me, said, we've got Newcastle who've inquired about you. I was like, but I'd been around at the end. Shut up, mate. Anyway, end up going to Halifax. Best thing I'd done. Probably maybe could have waited and then got a league club, but they offered me a really good offer. They was top of the league. End up going there, getting promoted. Played really well, you know.
Still living at home at
Still living
Halifax,
at home,
not living out. Yeah.
So
yeah.
like, you had like, I don't know if you know, like Kev Roberts, Matty Brown, Scousers. So we had a little car school up there. We laugh, man. It was good. And my first game for Halifax, right? I'd signed from Kersum. So we played Halifax before the FA Cup. And I scored 2 past Halifax Town. And they was top of the league, but I was saying in the dressing room, these are shit to everyone. These are shit, mate. We're going to get... Don't let this slip now. Like, don't let this... don't let this lead go. Don't let this league go. These are crap. So we were 2-0 at half time. I'd scored 2. And he ended up winning 5-2 or something. Anyway, manager, Paddy Lacey, who's at Chester now, he rang me straight after the game. I'm thinking, Paddy Lacey's mad this. What's happening, Paddy? All right, lad? He said, yeah, lad, look, I know Billy Heath, the Halifax manager. He's asked me, do I know you? So they wanted to sign me straight after the game. I was on a non-contract, so I literally could have just left. But we were still in the FA Cup and we had this big tie coming up. So as it was coming up, I was scoring hat-tricks, 2, 3s, 4s. You know, I was scoring a lot of goals. FA Cup comes, scores a hat-trick. He texts me after the game. Great hat-trick. Don't think we'll be getting you. But I'd kind of agreed that I'll come, but I didn't, because I didn't know I was going to score a hat-trick. So I thought, like, we're going to get beat 4-0 here, but it's nice to get on the telly by Wimbledon, 4 leagues ahead of us. Mate, we absolutely battered them. But they got, like, we just ran out of steam on 80 minutes. And so I ended up signing for Halifax. It was a great season. We got promoted. And then I wanted to get back into full-time. Craig Rodden was at Sligo. Said, come over and play. So went over there, started off really well. Manager's great, Jared Little, was fantastic. Got injured, I needed an operation. And these things go a bit miss, so I was on my way back to the full time. So if you go and play at the top in Sligo, like Seamus Coleman comes from Sligo, so I was still only, 23?
Yeah.
So I was like...
I know at this point I'm thinking,
you know
like,
I mean?
yeah,
I'm like, I feel like I'm 56 there. Yeah. But like, I'm thinking, well, Seamus Coleman come at probably about 19, but okay. He went straight to Everton, so if I go and get 30 goals in this league, I'll go straight back to the Championship. Oh, he's back again now, Adam Morgan.
And is that confidence coming back where
Absolutely.
you're saying, yeah?
And then I was the main man again at Sligo, but then I needed a double hernia operation, so that never gets talked about. So then it looks like I went home. I was still a bit depressed and stuff like that. Went to Moseley, because Craig Rodden went back to Curzon. I was still injured. So I left there again. Went to Moseley, didn't even ever do one training session with Witness, don't even know why that's there. And then, so I still hated footy then again, because I was depressed because I was injured, because I thought I was on my way back up. So I was up and down all the time. I never really went. So I'd go to go, and then wouldn't go again. And then that's how it went. And then when I was at Moseley, I was actually enjoying it again, 2019. And then I was going to sign for Witness, but then this opportunity come up at Romford. So moving on to Romford, this is when Glenn Tamplin comes in. So Glenn Tamplin was the Billericay owner, multi-millionaire. He had Jermaine Pennant, Paul Konchesky, Jamie O'Hara, in playing for them. So he was paying absolutely massive money. Like, he was paying them $3,000 a week.
He just want them to get up? He was just flooding it because he wanted to...
He just had that much money. He took like 50 grand to 80 million. Like, he had that much money. So he bought the club and he was the manager. But like, you could play one bad game for him, he'd just sack you on the spot at half time. Oh, this fella's off his head, right? So whereas I'd been going back and forth to London, I'd formed a relationship with this Jake Hall, one of my best mates now. He said, look, Glenn's asked me to come in for a bit of publicity. Jake's got loads of followers on his Instagram and all that. He wants me to come in, but I've told him about you. He said, right, give him this much money a week. That's it. He just does that. Let me speak to him now. Jake's phoned me, Glenn's here. I'm like, well, mate, yeah, look, we want to offer you blah, blah, blah. I'm thinking, okay, now. Right, are you sure? Like, that's sound, isn't it? And that's what I'm saying to him, that's sound, isn't it? What? As a sign on? All right, mate. Yeah, I'm there. Sound. Being in mind, Romford, I live in Buckhurst Hill now. Romford's 15 minutes away, so I thought. So I'm saying to him, in the end, when we talked normal, I said, look, I'm going to move down there and start life with me bird in April anyway. But if I can get that kind of money, and I'll rent till then, till I can sell my house and buy this, and but yeah, sound, I'll do this. You can work for me. I'm opening a new steel company. And I knew someone who'd worked for him previously, and now this kid's a millionaire at 28. He'd worked for Glenn. So I'm thinking, right, okay, footy hasn't been great, but I can still play part-time. I can still move and move bed. Let's go and see what this steel company's about then. Why not? Yeah, no, it's, you know, it's mad, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
As in, just he manufactures steel?
Mate, he just manufactured, but it was just, again, all right then, I'll see you training Thursday. Sound, mate, sound. Anyway, he goes down there. Starts living in my bed's mum and dad's flat there, so thinking, alright, when I get my first wages, I'll get us a flat. Bearing in mind, so signing his contract, sound. So anyway, all starts off mad, but he's had his own problems, so he wouldn't mind, I'm bothered anyway, but he was addicted to drugs really bad, so he wouldn't come sometimes for 3-4 weeks to games and stuff. So I'm still waiting for this job, still waiting to get paid for the first time and stuff. So already I'm on the back foot a little bit, but when he was around, he was great. He was funny, and first session I done, he brought one bag, one old all. We had a shooting competition. I didn't actually even win. And one shooting competition and one like for some competition, 2 winners. He said pick a bag. So one of them picked the bag. And one of them picked the bag. One of them had all cat food in, dog food in. The other one had a Balmain tracksuit in, pair of Louboutins, a Montclair coat. All so whoever. So we just said, yeah, give him that. So that was kind of what he was. He used to come in his Lamborghini. Like that. Mad, this guy. So I was in the end. I was scoring straight away. I don't even know how many goals I said. 8 goals, yeah. But I was just scoring. It was just, mate, the level was the absolute joke. It was like playing in the park. I'll be honest, for me, you know what I mean? But I'm thinking, man, I'm getting this money, sound this. So, and I'm living with my bird, so we're a lot happier. And I just felt, oh, right, thank God, man. And then, again, he would go missing 4 weeks again. And then he'd come back for a week, go missing 4 weeks again.
You getting paid in the end, like, for this?
In the end, but then it'd just be dribs and drabs. So I'm like, so he gives me the job. He said the steel company isn't ready to open yet, so come and work in my house. Like I'll get you doing the garden in the house. But I'm thinking, all right, what, you'll give me that? Come and do that. I'm like, all right then, sound, mate. And his house, you'll be able to get it up. It's called Bliss Heights.
Yeah, I've seen a video of it.
It's absolutely amazing, right? So it's got. But what he done is, he said, come and work in my house. Just be here at 7 o'clock. You'll have a personal trainer every single day. Harry Kane's personal trainer, Andy Charlton, unbelievable man. So we had him every single day, apart from the weekend. So Monday to Friday, I had him every single day, and then twice on Sunday. So we'd train in the morning in the gym, and then do a footy session on a Tuesday and Thursday afternoon. That's it.
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
Fucking hell, that is half that, isn't it?
So you were just turning up there every day?
Yeah, sort of show the gym. So we'd go in there every day.
What else?
Yeah, man. That's, yeah.
Wow.
Working on that. Fuck me, that's a big garden, isn't it? Yeah. Where did you start with the garden?
It's got an outdoor Astro footy pitch and an outdoor grass footy pitch.
Wow.
Yeah.
Whereabouts is this then?
That's in Abridge. So I do my sessions 2 minutes from there where I do my coaching now.
Fucking hell.
But yeah. Hopefully it'll show. Look, there's the outdoor.
Yeah.
And then you see the indoor. There's the other. So if you let it play stuff there. Oh, didn't show it, but there's an outdoor Astro as well. So I was going there every day thinking, some days I'd just be driving the lawnmower, just sound or like just driving quad bikes all day, but he'd be paying us and we'd be doing training of the morning, training of the afternoon. So I'm thinking, this fella, you know what, he's got his problems, but he's really trying to help.
Do you reckon he was lonely as well, like wanted you around and stuff?
Absolutely. So he had a few people around him, you know what I mean, like, because he got himself into a little bit of trouble. I don't actually know, or I would tell you, I don't actually know what it was, but he had a few people around him, a bit of security around him, and he has like security huts and all that. So it was a bit, like, because people would try and rob that house. Doesn't matter, not just Scousers, like, I know for robbing, like, you know, he used to have, like, 300 grand watches and stuff like that, so around it, but I wouldn't see him, so I'm working for him, I'm playing for him, but 2 separate wages. So if I don't see him for 6 weeks, in the end I have to say to him, mate, look, I can't do this, like, I'm sorry, but I can't do this, like, you've said to me, when he was normal and sober and stuff like that, he'd be like, I know. So in the end I just thought, you know what, I'd done well for Romford, and then I said, I'm not doing this anymore. Didn't want to play for Romford, so went to Chelmsford, Robbie Simpson, manager, and then I just started up my Adam Morgan League coaching. And mate, it just took off like wildfire. It was absolutely mad. Lockdown really helped me.
Really, did it?
Absolutely.
Why?
Because the first lockdown, everyone was taking real serious, weren't they, you know, and stuff like that. But then you could do one-to-one, so I was doing one-to-one. So everyone wanted the kids to be out and active. They all love footy down there. Like you're saying, you know how many people are down there. So, like you're saying, is I done a few kids that I know first. My birds mates, sons. They tell someone, can you do him? Then made a video, blah blah blah. Got a few people to share it. Then it just took off like wildfire. And then I feel like I do a really good job. So I've just been offered a new contract at Chelmsford, which I'm really want to stay. Me, Adam Morgan League Coaching's got its first camp on the 29th of March, mate. I haven't been going a year. 49 people signed up per day for 3 days. I'm like,
wow.
Oh my God. And don't get me wrong, not all of them are paid yet, but even if that goes to 25, I would have been happy with 15. You know, like, so it's kind of took off, and I haven't even really used any of my resources yet. So I haven't asked, like you say,
Connor Cody, isn't that like,
I haven't asked Connor Cody to put a pair of boots on, or Aaron Creswell, who lives right by me, to put a pair of boots on, mate, can you do this and this? You know, and I've never asked one person to put it up for me. Like the people who do.
You see, like you got that though, the smiles that you had when talking about Gerrard and Carragher, then they disappeared. They see him back again when you're talking about the footy with Chelmsford and the coaching and that.
Yeah, no, mate, absolutely. I love it. I feel happy again. I feel happy. I've built up myself again financially, with my bird, with my parents, with my mates. I went the last 2 years. I haven't been the person I know I am. Because I was so sad and so upset, and we're men, we don't like showing it. I'd be telling my counsellor about it, but yeah, you're sweet, yeah, do this, yeah, it's sound. But now I'm in a position where if I don't feel comfortable, I will say it. Or if something's not feeling right, I will say it, because I end up pressing it down, and it'll just be an explosion. You know what I mean?
I think the saddest thing, I mean, we could sit here all day and go, oh, imagine if that had happened, or do you regret this and regret that? One of the saddest things about your story then is listening from like the cheeky kid who's, you know, just smiling, a bit of a class clown, but like a nice lad at heart, but likes a laugh, to then it kind of being beaten out of you, to being this fucking sitting in your bedroom all day. That's the saddest bit of the whole thing.
Mate, but at the end, again, I look at it now and think, right, I'm 26 now. I've had a really good season at Chelmsford. I've got the most goals, most assists. That should have 2 more on that, number 6.
I can edit it.
Can you edit?
No, I can't. No.
I'll go on and knock
I think
it's off. And I changed that picture. Look at that.
You can, if you're a contributor, if you contribute a lot to Wikipedia, you can change it. But,
no, I'm only just you know what? I'm not embarrassed, like, because, like you're saying, I've had a platform now to speak my mind and stuff like that. But I'm thinking now, do I give it another go? At 26, try and get a Stephen and Crawley at Southend. I wouldn't move anywhere. I'm comfortable in London, but do a try with one of them clubs at Leighton Orient. I live 5 minutes from Orient. Do I give it a go? Maybe get a little bit low money and like have a little bit less coaching, but then there's still that chance. Or do I stay happy at Chelmsford? No, I'll play every week. Touch wood, like injury free. I'm good mates with the manager. I'm one of the good players there. Got a great team, to be honest. And then keep going with me coaching and see where that takes me. So,
I want you to give it a go, mate.
Yeah, I do.
I know. Because I know, I know now I'll go and rip that League 2 up. I really do think. I'm not saying I'll go and be player of the season, but I know I'll score goals. I know I'll score goals. It's just about getting that chance. But I played with Alex Ravel, the Stevenage manager. I played with him at Rotherham. Do I give him a call and just have an honest chat with him like this and say, look, mate, What are your thoughts on this, do you reckon?
I can clip this, mate, for you, and you can send it to them.
And I would, mate. I just think the love of the game that you've got and just the natural ability that you've shown throughout, because wherever you've went and that, I think
it's never ability with me. It's never ability. It's upstairs. And when I feel this strong now, I feel strong, like, and I walk about places with my shoulders, I'll die. And then if anyone does want to know what happened, mate, I'll tell them. Look, it's a long story, but you know, upstairs.
Mate, you are the perfect podcast guest because how open you are, mate. And you honestly, and I don't know whether that comes from the shit time you had down at Yeovil or whatever, but football, and we've had a few footballers on, and and certainly when you see them on the TV, but it's completely different. Is an air to not cover things up, of course not, but just not. You've just been. I think what I'm trying to get has been you've been incredibly open, mate. And honestly, I can't thank you enough for that, because I think people who've been listening and watching will absolutely love this conversation.
On that note as well, mate, just before we wrap it up, have you found any of the lads, because you've had like a really, from the outset at the Liverpool Academy when I first met those lads, your lives have almost just fucking bombasted, haven't they, really?
Of course, so like...
Have anyone else struggled the way you have, and without kind of naming names and saying problems, but I mean like
not as much as I know, but just speaking from personal point of view is I know there's been struggles for sure, you know, and I know you know a lot of the lads, and everyone has the separate things, and some people look like they're doing really well but inside they're dying, and some people are going about their business quietly. It's just, football's such a hard thing to get your head around. It's actually, everyone says as an excuse, well, it's football. That's not football. You can't be treated like that. So if me and you working in the Jag plant and I'm making your life a misery, you're going to file a complaint about me. But in football, it's seen as, it's football. It's not. Like, you try and do that to someone in a real job, you're going to get your head smashed in, aren't you? Like, whether you can fight or not, someone's got a point where you think, but it's seen as football or what? And then I love this bit about the dressing room, but I'm saying is like, you got your jeans cut in half, your brand new jeans. Like, it's football. Imagine you cut someone's work boots up. Do you know what I mean? You're going to have a fight, but it's seen as football. I've seen people go to the toilet and someone shoot. Do you know what I mean? And like, you're like, that doesn't happen, but it's seen as football. But it is, and I love that kind of side of it.
Yeah, and that's something I spoke to the lads about and stuff, and I think like the footy players we've had on, it's like in the Marines, it's like that, it's very similar. It's probably why I get on with like the likes of you and a few of the lads and that. It's fucking hilarious, and I think there is that point when it goes too far. And obviously what happened to you, fucking that the manager did go too far, but all the other stuff's funny as fuck, and it wouldn't exist anywhere else other than like the military or a dressing room. Do you know what I mean? So
that's what I'm saying. It seems as it's all right, but like, it's just that's footy. Like, he said this to you. It's football. What, he spat it, like he's shouting that much. You get it all spit down and say, it's footy. Managers get like that. No, mate, like, it's not normal, but it's just classified as normal. You know what I mean? It's crazy,
mate. And you're not bitter towards Liverpool. You still watch, still following the Reds, and you still.
It took a little bit. It took a little bit of time. It did. Not because I was angry. I just feel like now, looking back, is if I was sent on loan, actually just on loan to a proper club where, you know, I was like a Harry Kane where I went to Leicester, went to a few clubs. Like, he didn't do well on loan at first, but then they bided the time with me. But, you know, I felt like I weren't good enough. Was I better than Suarez, Sturridge? No. Would I ever got to the mites? No, probably not. So I can accept that. Was I better than Fabio Borini? Yeah. I think I was. But Fabio Borini had been with Brendan Rodgers at Swansea. I think it was Swansea. So he's probably maybe 1 year older than me with Fabio Borini. But do I think I was better than him? Absolutely. Will I always believe I was? Yeah. Even now, do I think I'm better than Borini? Yeah. And that's what I'm saying is, I still think I could play.
That's it. You're not sitting here going, I'm better than Suarez if I would have had a chance.
Man, like, do I think I should be playing the Premier League every week now? No. But do you think at the stages, was I better than Fabio Borini? I do. Was I better than Sturridge, Suarez? Absolutely not. Nowhere near him. I looked up to them, but I was still a kid. I just think I would have loved to. I'm not even saying I deserve this to happen, but I would have loved, if I could have planned my career, go out on loan to a Championship, even High League One club, go and get 40, 50 games, like a lot of the lads have done now, and then come back. Like, you look at Ryan Kent now, you look at Harry Wilson. They went out, ripped the championship, Sergi Canos. You know, they've went out and been given a run of games in a manager who's trusted them. They've went and done the business. Do I think I could have done that? Absolutely, yeah.
What's your biggest high as you look back on your career? So hopefully it's not over, because I'm dying for you to keep pushing on with it.
No.
What's your best memory from footy?
It's gotta be, it's tough, man. It's gotta be the time I started at Anfield in the Europa League. Hearts against Hearts, wow. Man, I'd like talk about tickets. I had like 46 tickets for that something like that. And then my parents was in the box. My agent gave them the box for that game. That's got to be the proudest moment ever. Like, I'm warming up and in the tunnel, Gerrard pulls me. He says, "See him, if he tells you anything, tell him to fuck off about Suarez, because every time you get it, he's going to want for the ball." But then I was laughing. That made me feel at ease. And Suarez came up to me for the game and said, give me a hug and said, "Good luck, my friend," and stuff like that. And as we were standing in the tunnel, Carragher said to me, just don't do what I done. I said, well, what was that? I already knew what he'd done, but I was like, what was that? Don't get booked after 2 minutes. Mate, I rattled someone in the eye. Actually should have been sent off after 2 minutes.
Really, yeah.
But I wanted to, let me try and get a tackle in so the crowd go up and that. But that's probably the highlight of my career. Obviously, maybe scoring in pre-season. That was unbelievable. The whole pre-season tour. But probably the Anfield debut. That was... mate, I want to stand up now, and you know what I mean?
When was that then? I don't know, when was that? What year?
2012, was it? 13?
Gotta be 12, 13, I'd say, yeah, versus Hearts. But I made my debut in a week before against Hearts at Tynecastle, but I only played a few minutes, and then it started the week later at Anfield. But again, sorry, I don't want to keep up too much of your time.
No.
It was the weirdest thing, the way I was starting. It was like, I'd played a minute, I'd thought, always give me a few minutes, but the next week, so we're in training all week, and the Gerrard's like laughing, he said the next day he didn't travel to Tynecastle, he played like the younger lads and like Carragher's and stuff like that. Gerrard said he seen on the telly, he said, I've never seen someone take the jumper off as quick, because I was just ready, you know what I mean? I only played like, honestly, 2-3 minutes, so I thought, right, that's it, I've made my debut now. So we're warming up on the Wednesday before the next leg. So I could have a green bib on, you've got a green bib on, you have, and he might have a yellow. So you'd know whoever's got the same colour bib on as Gerrard is going to start the next day. Gerrard's got a yellow bib on, you've got a yellow bib on, I've got a yellow bib on. My mate Jack Robbo's got an orange bib on, so he's nudging me saying, lad, look, I'd already seen, do you know what I'm thinking? Nah. But I'm looking around thinking, like, where is Barini? Like, is he training or... Barini's training, I'm thinking. You know, honestly, that's what I was like. I was like, no, he must have made a mistake here, must have. Anyway, warm-up finishes, saying, lad, you're in. I'm saying, no way. But like, still trying to do me step over, me stretches and that. But my heart's gone here, and I'm thinking, oh my God. So, he says, right, boys, non-starters with Marshy, starting 11 with me. So I actually just froze. All the people in my colour bib had just walked over there, so I'm still looking like that, oh, everyone, so like, all the lads who know they're not starting's gone over there, all the starters are going over there, I'm actually just stood in the middle. Everyone's just laughing at me, but I've got the biggest smile on my face, like a big Cheshire cat, you know. Brendan Rodgers just says to me, come on, you're starting. And I've just went, everyone's just laughing, do you know what I mean? Like, because they know how much it means to me. I would have knew more about Liverpool than any one of them. Like, I could tell you what score it was every single game. It meant that much to me. I just went. So we done that. So I was like, I did one of the training sessions then, so I could go and ring my dad. So we done unopposed shape. So obviously the Melwood fences were proper low. So it'd be centre back, midfielder, back to the full back, out to the other full back, cross in the box, strikers finish, unopposed. First one come in, the ball's come to me, I've kicked it out the whole of Melwood. I was that nervous, I was right over the fence onto the road. Everyone's crying, I was saying, you're going to play you out the team already? But I can't even remember what happened the rest of that session. Went in, rang my dad, and mum and dad's crying on the phone. Goes to the hotel in the morning. Lay there the whole day at the Hope Street Hotel. And then it was unbelievable. And then funny enough, I ended up working with my dad for a little while on the minibuses, the chauffeuring. My dad on the TV and films, so he does like, he's just done a Batman film here, he does the chauffeuring around for them. and we've done, so I ended up working for him. I was picking people up from a Hope Street hotel as a chauffeur for like 3 months. I was thinking, mate, probably less than 6 years ago, I was coming out of here, getting on the Liverpool coach, and I was like, big reality thing, and I thought, and my dad does alright for himself now, but I thought, this isn't me, man. This isn't me. Like, I've drove around a few sick people. I've drove like Blake Harrison, Neil from In Between Us, that's him, Blake Harrison, Anna Friel, Sean Bean, few sick people. But I went asked, in that world, people would be like, I just speak to them normal, what's happening, mate? Like footy, and so I got on with them quite well, but I quickly realised I need to do something with the footy. I've got too much knowledge. And
if you're not struggled ever with your ego, like as in you go from being that Adam Morgan who's driving around at 17 and everyone your age is looking at you, fucking hell's Adam Morgan, to then you think, fucking hell, God, because I've struggled myself, like fucking from the Marines, like gone from being this Marine and now I'm like, fucking hell. Do you know what I mean?
No, absolutely, you do struggle, you do, but kind of like what I said earlier, I know I could still play in the championship if I got myself fit and I got a run of games. I'm not saying right now I'd go in and be the leading goal scorer in the championship, but ability wise, do I think I could play? Yeah, absolutely. And if my mindset's right, absolutely. So I don't want anyone here thinking like, oh, this idiot thinks he can still play. But with a run of games, if I got myself going and I was focused and my mindset was right and I had all these things in place, like my counsellor still regular, all that, do I think I could go on and play in the championship? Absolutely. Not my ability, it's just upstairs with me. That's what I want.
Mindset again.
When you would just because I'm on that Europa League, it was a brilliant story. Do you have to do you drive to Melwood and then you all get the coach?
I love your questions, Tom.
Yeah, no.
Is that no?
He asks, like, people message me and go, Tom asked like the maddest things.
That's what I said to me. I said, you're famous. I would love watching you. I said when we first came in.
No, so what you do is, the only reason is like when you're driving, like if you're driving to Melwood thinking and then got to get there, that must be fucking such a mad feeling.
So on that game, you have to drive to Anfield. So you drive to Anfield, leave your car there, because remember after the game you see all the cars there. I used to always think, how do their cars get there?
Yeah.
Do the wives bring it? But no, you drive to Melwood in the morning. Sorry, not Melwood. Drive to Anfield in the morning, leave your cars there, then get on a coach from Anfield to Hope Street Hotel, and you spend a day at Hope Street. So when you go,
why do you do that?
So you've got your car to leave after the game.
No, why do you spend the day, you mean?
Yeah, why do you I thought it was short. Yeah, surely it would be easier to drive. Sorry, we talk about the logistics here. But surely it'd be better to everyone to drive to Melwood. You can park your cars there.
Yeah, but you can't get off as soon as the match is finished. You want to get in your car and go home, don't you?
Yeah, how are you going to get your car from Melwood?
Yeah, but then the coach fucking drops.
Why would you want to have to fucking go from Anfield back to Melwood just to get your car to go home?
Yeah, fair enough. But...
Look, I wanted to walk out with my hands raised in the air, you know what I mean? But
special car parking.
No, yeah. So no, yeah. That's what I'm saying. No, there's no traffic there, so you just go in there, park your car, say 9 o'clock in the morning, go and get on a coach. You go there, the hotel, the thing, but then you can just leave straight away in your car.
What do you know for the like? What are you doing all day there though? Following on from Tom's kind of questions.
Yeah, so like that's what you're there. Like you go there, you probably have a bit of breakfast, go and have 2-3 hours in your room, have a meeting, have a lunch, go back to your room, another 2-3 hours.
But you know what you talk about? Is that a big thing in, like, you spoke about your gambling and stuff, is that a big thing? Like, cause I'm just young lads in sport who all similar mindsets. Of
course, but that day, like, normally you'd have a sleep for 1 or 3 hours. There's no way I was sleeping that day, do you know what I mean, mate? Honestly. I was playing for me first star for the Redmen at Anfield. I knew 45,000 people was going to be there. I'm just looking out the window thinking this is unbelievable. But now, like...
Yeah, the waiting would kill me.
The waiting is
going back to the England days, I used to think, oh, this, man. I know I'm on a bench later, I was, whatever, man, just watching a Prison Break. I love Entourage, you know, mate, load of series, but watching series is killing time, mate. On a FaceTime to your parents, to your mates, sorting out tickets, that's it. And then you go and then you'll go have breakfast, go back to your room, lunch meeting, then about 2 hours later, an hour later, pre-match meal, final meeting on the coach, Anfield, game time.
Any of these meetings at any point you're thinking, fucking hell, like, I know everything there is to need to know. Like,
how many meetings do you need?
At that time, I'm not thinking that, but I can imagine in the end, like, like probably Gerrard carrying a Stewie down and thinking, well, what can we know? You know what I mean? But I'm like, just get me in my suit and everything, you know, in my suit, Liverpool suit. Oh, mate, I've still got it now. But that's what me and Craig Rodden always say. I've got an England suit and a Liverpool suit. We said one day we're going to go to town and a mess and, you know, and a night out. So we say, well, like, I'll go meet the lads. Obviously, I'd take it, but I'll go with it, tie and everything, you know, be brilliant. But,
no one can ever take that away from you, mate.
Of course, and that, look, I've done things that some people never ever do in their life, but I that's what I'm saying. I'm not a thing now. Do I try and do it again, or is it?
We put it to a vote at the end of this podcast.
Yeah, no, please do.
I reckon you go for it again.
What's your coaching website so people can find that and stuff like that?
The website isn't up and running yet, but I've got my Instagram. Adam Morgan Elite Coaching. It's pretty simple. That's what I'm saying is, if there is ever anyone who has struggled and would want to speak, please, honest to God, any message via social media. I'm on the Twitter. I'm on the Instagram. I've had a good few people message me and just have a chat with them, and you know, I love it. Anything I can do to help, and I always will. Like, I've been so excited to come here, and you know, I'm so grateful for you for asking me to come on. You know, like, it's very difficult for me. I love rather coming here. I'd get the train down just for this, rather than, I know it was Mother's Day yesterday and that, but I'd go to get the train down just for this.
I think, mate, your story is important because, like you say, mate, I think people in Liverpool, mate, you're thought of well, mate, and people know you, and it's nice to me because to be like, you know, what's Adam doing now, you know what I mean, and so it's great that you've had this time, mate, to put it out there, mate, and like you say, I think a lot of people who are going through a tough time will get inspiration from it.
I feel like I've put a lot of my ghosts to rest over the last year. You know, they'll always still be there. All my demons to rest, sorry. They'll always still be there, but you know, I've learned to deal with it and be proud of myself with my achievements a lot more, rather than, oh, I could have done this. Well, you know what, if you say you could have done this, you're still 26. I'm 27 next month. 27. I could play till I was 35. Or Kev Ellison. What an inspiration he is, honestly.
Yeah.
Absolute inspiration. Was he 40?
41, yeah.
I think,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I look out for all these people. You know, like, I haven't like left the city and don't look out. I check on every result. You know what I mean? So,
mate, get back into it, man.
I know. Just look on that chance. I think I might. So if Alex Ravel ever watches this, I might ring him on the train.
Just bang in favours now. That's what they're there for. Just start ringing in little, hey, can you have a word with him? And
No, I know. I might do.
Got to pick your thingy. Someone said about a guest. I'm calling me favours. I'm lucky enough, bit of a name drop. Met Stephen Graham. Text him now and again.
Yeah.
And I text him the other day about coming on the podcast. I thought, fucking, why not? Try. You got to call in those favours.
Yeah.
But mate, mate, with your passion for the game, mate, you think you definitely should. And obviously the coaching's flying. Keep that up. But
I can do both.
But I'd give it a go.
If I'm in London and get a London team, I can do both. Train till 1, then work free. But it'll fill me day, so that'll be a lot more. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. So hopefully, if anyone does watch, and that's what I'm saying, I would love to. If I'm honest, I want to give it another go.
Yeah.
I do. I do.
We talked a lot.
No, I do want to give it another go. It's just obviously it'd have to be the right thing for me. Like, kind of, I know it'd be, you know, after giving myself a chance and stuff like that. But I mean, for my mentality, I wouldn't want to move just yet because I want to be. I'm settled now. I feel really happy. But I would love to give it another go. I might make a call on the way home.
Do it.
I would, mate.
Might send a message anyway. Send a message, not a call.
Adam, you've been a star. I know that we'll get you on again at some point, but thanks so much for your time, mate.
Thank you so much, mate.
Thank you.
I've really enjoyed this. Thank you very much.
Thank you.